Now we're rolling. So, again, it's a English speaking episode for a while because we have the big superstar from Ireland here. He's pretty huge in all these circles, and he can introduce himself now.
Wouldn't say pretty huge, not even physically.
From all the right places.
From all the right places, indeed. How's it going, everybody? My name's John, and yes, I'm from Ireland. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest thing to come from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
At least whiskey, Guinness, and petrol bombs and car bombs probably supersede me by a bit.
Maybe just a little bit.
I'm a decent export. Let's say I'm a decent export. But yeah, I'm from Ireland, and I'm just a gobshite, pure and simple. And for anybody who doesn't understand that, that means I'm an idiot.
And you're an idiot if you do have to ask what the word means, like you said to me.
Yeah, pretty much. You're the example of a gobshite if you have to ask what one is.
Yeah. So yeah, John is mostly called like JB, as because he's John Burton, and you're 27?
28.
28. Okay, you're a year older than me actually, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, you are from Ireland and you have come here to Finland, Helsinki, to us, like bend us immortals to your will. You Irish god.
Yeah. I actually came over to replicate the gold rush that went on in California.
Mm-hmm.
When I arrived, I sadly found out there was no gold, just trees, endless trees.
There was no gold in the end of the rainbow.
No, never is. Look, I'll let you into a little secret that not many people know from Ireland. Rainbows don't actually have gold at the end of them. Just water. They generally end over the ocean.
Sad.
Yeah. I'm bringing this down. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, when did you actually... I have never asked you this because John is a co-worker of mine. We work both at the Selkrig Performance Unit, the best place in Helsinki.
Best place in the world.
Yeah, some would say.
I would say.
Yeah. And when did you come to Finland from Ireland?
Oh Jesus, we're coming up on 5 years now. I think it was the 7th of September.
7th of
6th
September.
or 7th, yeah, I can't exactly remember when. But I moved over.
Okay. Did you say the year because I missed it?
2016.
2016. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, that would be about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so 5 years in Finland. What is the what would you say the biggest differences in Finland and Ireland?
Biggest differences. Good.
Like culturally, I'm thinking more of like, not like, fuck this shit. But yeah, fuck you, Charger. Sorry for that. But yeah, please continue.
Cursing fits so well right now. If you don't like cursing, stop listening. The biggest differences, I don't know. Culturally, people are more reserved. A little bit more considerate. Like, it's not bad. People in Ireland aren't bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's a lovely country. But some people bring the, let's say, social intelligence down by a huge margin. And I don't like that. But over here, people seem pretty level. Like, pretty well organized. Quite measured, quite calm. Not really boastful. Just, like, they do things and... It's nice. Like, they don't need any huge celebrations. It's just like, yeah, I did this. This is cool. And then they move on with it and they do something like something just equally as amazing or even more amazing. But like, it's just quieter. Finland's quieter. I love that. Ireland, don't get me wrong, I miss it for the crack, and that's not the drug. That's what we call fun, which sometimes, from what I've seen, the drug does give people fun. Yeah. Then they end up looking like a skeleton, so, you know, you don't want that. But I do miss it for the crack. Like, going to the pub with a couple of mates and just relaxing. No ambition to get pissed, but just to have some time together and just joke. You know, sing, play some board games, play some music, whatever it may be. You just kind of go with the flow. That's something I do miss. I think there could be more of that over here. Because Finnish people are lovely. There's a misconception that they're not. You guys are. You're really, really nice people. I don't know why people say it's difficult to get to know you guys. It's not. Just have patience with them, and you will get to know them really easy.
Yeah, it's it can take time in some places. Like we, as a people, I feel like we like our own space a lot, and we don't get too much into each other. We don't get too much into each other's shit. But even though there are, of course, those people too, like they think they know your business much better than like you know your business, and then they are just like, yeah, these, what is it? Juorukello. I'm thinking like, yeah, it's people who just like blabber to everyone else, and they just, yeah, usually isn't even true.
Shit talkers.
Yeah, shit talkers is a nice way to say it, but yeah, there are like, yeah. But yeah, the you mentioned earlier about, yeah, the Finnish people are really modest. I feel like it's almost it's in the borderline of, is it too much? Because well, I'm thinking about in sense of sports, because they usually don't think they deserve stuff, and that is like, I have seen like many people in like high level competition and stuff, they almost think it's like, well, because I'm nothing special, and it's like and many people melt like mentally in these things, and I think that is one thing that separates a lot of people, especially like, I feel like the Americans are really good at this, like driving the thoughts into your head, like, no, you actually are good and you fucking deserve it, and just go and do it.
Well, it's a huge amount of self-belief for them, I think, and that's part of America. Like, it was founded on self-belief. They came over from England. We believe we can move over here, get rid of like the religious persecution that we were facing, just because we believe in something slightly different. Let's fucking do it. Hoorah. And then they did it. It's always been ingrained in their culture, yeah, I guess I've recognized it a little bit over here with Finnish people, that there is a bit too much modesty sometimes. And as much as it pains me to say, nobody's fucking special, but everybody's different. Yeah. And it's that difference that you can use to your advantage. Like, if you're good at something, say you're good at something. Like, I'm decent at writing. I will say I'm decent at writing. I'm not decent at jiu-jitsu at all. I'm like a fucking cat that's in a bag that's being drowned by 40 really big, tough Navy SEALs. I'm fucking useless. But I wouldn't say that I'm good at that. But I would have the general confidence to say, yeah, I'm like a pretty decent writer. Not to Neil Gaiman standards, certainly not, or Lovecraft, or even King, or anybody who you think is a massive name in writing, like, not to those standards. But I have many years to achieve that. But I'd say I'm decently good, maybe a step above most people. Yeah. And I'm not going to scream it in someone's face that I'm better than you, but like, I'm quietly confident in the fact that I'm pretty good at it. Yeah. I do think Finnish people could do that, because I look around, especially in the sports sphere over here, people are hugely talented. Yeah. They're just hugely modest about their skill set. But some of the things that people do, I couldn't fucking do. Yeah. And then they have, the audacity to go, well, it's nothing special. I'm like, well, you're right, it's not nothing special, but it's something fucking different, and it's cool. Yeah. So own up to it. Yeah. That is true. Yeah, where Irish people have the exact opposite. We are amazing at everything, because 700 years of persecution has made us just fucking gods on the world stage. Yeah, yeah. We do 3 things great. Drunk, getting home, drunk. Okay, we can locate our house. If we were dropped in Arizona, we could still get back to our house. Be amazing. Maybe not the desert in Arizona, but like Arizona Times Square, because, taxi, airport, Dublin, boom, job done. But yeah, we're good at drunk. We're also good at humor. And I'd say we're fantastic storytellers. But there's a quiet confidence in that. Like, it is ingrained in our culture to be storytellers. So yeah, we'll be confident about that. We're not bad sports people either. Like, look at the Irish rugby team. Yeah. Hugely amazing. Yeah. Maybe not as good as the All Blacks. Maybe on par with Australia. Sorry, Aaron. Sometimes better. South Africa are quite good as well.
Shots fired.
England are crap. But like, there's just a bit of quiet confidence that is needed. Sometimes it spills over in Ireland, and that's one thing that I like about over here is nobody is overly confident. But I think you guys could just say that you're good at something and believe that you're good at something and just do it.
Yeah.
And anybody who's a naysayer, fuck them. They don't matter.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. But I feel like I'm. Well, I'm not saying I'm like overly confident in anything basically, but at the same time, because I like to fuck around and joke around and everything, and it's like I have or at least I feel like there's a little bit of like flair that some people mistake that it's I'm being cocky and like asshole about it.
I've experienced that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like a thing. But at the same time, I feel like I'm like super humble about things, and I feel like I'm really open to learn every time and anything. And it's like that's like one of the reasons I do this. It's like I like to discuss with people about different things, and then maybe learn from them. And yeah, it's interesting to share ideas and talk about it. And always it's good to hear from people, especially if they're really good at something. Like how did they get there, and what did they notice, what did they learn, and everything. Like it's really interesting to me.
Well, that's a good mindset to have. That's kind of an open mindset or a growth mindset, which is good. Like, I don't think you come across as cocky, but humor helps kind of sell the fact that you're good at something. Because you're humbly humorous about it. God damn, alliteration, that was good. I'm quoting that, nobody take that. But like it's nice, the humor is cool, and it can express that you're confident in something. But like if you maybe don't show your best ability, it's okay as well. Take the piss out of yourself, you know, because not every time you step up to the plate are you going to be like a home run hitter. Sometimes you just fuck up, you're human. But yeah, you Finns out there, awesome people, tall as fuck. I'm a short arse. Just be happy that you can do shit and celebrate that you can do shit. And when other people do cool shit, say well done. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is something I feel like. I'm not sure if it's just me, but a lot of people. I'm not sure if they're. I wouldn't say scared, but I feel like it's something like they feel like it takes something away from them if they actually compliment other people, like, or kind of like tell them you're actually really good at this or good job on this. And it's mostly like it's a at least I feel like this is the normal giving feedback to someone. They can maybe say like, yeah, good job, but nothing like anything special other than that, like anything specific. But they will really tell you if you did something wrong. Basically, like, this shouldn't be this should be this. And like, yeah, well, good job, but this is bad, and this is bad. And it's like, yeah, it's a strange in a way. I'm not sure if it's about like, kind of like lifting other people up problem, or like a lot of people, they don't. I'm not sure why they don't do it that much, but yeah, I try to be an exception on this. Like I haven't been encouraged too much on anything, so I'll try to be like, at least I can encourage people. But yeah,
well, it's good. Like there's always an exception to the rule, you will be it, and that's good. But yeah, just because you didn't get like the best encouragement when you were younger, that doesn't really matter. Like again, it comes to, can you do it or can you not? If you can't, okay. Do you want to though? Yeah, well then work on it, and then you can do it. And if people are doing something and you notice them doing something cool, like something cool, just say like, that was awesome work, man. It's the small things that kind of help people. And I like doing that myself, is noticing that somebody does something and just saying like, that was fucking cool, well done, like that was awesome to see, do it again, now do it better.
Yeah,
like and you can put the little jab in there but do it better, but like it's cool. Give people compliments. Compliments go a long way. You don't need to saturate people in compliments.
Yeah.
But just if you notice, just say it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell Finnish people how to be.
Yeah.
Because Finland's helped me.
But we want to learn from the Irish God.
All you need is humor, whiskey, and stories. That's all you need. No, but Finland's like helped me level out.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that I was a bit too confident coming over here. Like doing some powerlifting, doing some bodybuilding, looking probably the best that I had ever looked in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was God's gift to earth, and I wasn't, because I'm not special. I'm just different.
Yeah.
And like the people that I met initially when I came over here, and if they ever hear this, they know who they are. They kind of leveled me out and helped me find that Finnish reserve, but combine that with like the Irish kind of humor, and hubris for life. Like it was a nice mix. I genuinely think if the Finnish and the Irish were ever kind of melded together, that would be a really kind of cool society that we'd live in.
So, all the Finnish ladies, let Jumbo babies in you.
Well, one, I don't want babies. Two, I don't want babies with my missus. And three, I'm madly in love with my missus.
Yeah.
So sorry, Finnish ladies.
Well, there's the sperm bank. You can be the donor.
The sperm bank.
You could be the donor.
I don't know if I want little Johns running around the world, but there are tons of people in Ireland. Go on over and travel. It's a beautiful country. Find yourself an Irish fella or missus or toaster or whatever you believe in, and take them home and show them Finland. It's honestly a cool country, and like if you put the two together, it would be unstoppable.
Yeah, and then we have also Steven that can fill you in with this.
You'll have to have him on. Just I don't know how you do subtitles for like an Audible program, but you'll have to subtitle it some way for him. I'm hoping you understand what I'm saying, listeners.
Yeah, Steven is from Northern Ireland, and
no, he's from Dublin, same place.
Dublin.
As me.
I think you said he was from much more north.
No, he's from the north side. I'm from the south side.
Okay.
So my accent is, in his own opinion, I guarantee he'll say this, it's more posh. Where his is more like rough, down to the ground. So like he has weird endings to words. But you're Finnish, you understand.
Yeah, I understand him. It's like it's not a problem for me.
Yeah,
but it's noticeably different. Even though they're same, but it's not.
Yeah, there's more enunciation with the south side than there is from the north side. Like they let the endings of words just kind of fall off.
Yeah.
Sounds nice though. It's authentic Irish. Like that's a real Dublin accent.
Yeah. And he sounds even more like you said, Conor McGregor. It's like much more of that because he's from Dublin also. But yeah.
Well, he was born not too far where Conor was born. Stephen's from Clondalkin, which is a suburb of the north side, and that was pretty close to where McGregor was born. So they do have a similar enough kind of tonality accent.
Yeah.
It's a nice area though, if you want to get stabbed.
But yeah, it's like I think I said the pronunciations and like the accent. It's Irish accent is somewhat. It has a nice tone to it, and like especially it's ridiculous. One word that I said to you also earlier, like sounds a little bit ridiculous when you say car.
Car.
Yeah, car. It's like car. It's totally different from anything else. Like. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds a bit funny, even though I know what you mean. But yeah.
Fuck you. No, I get you. I don't know. We bend words differently. In a how would you say? They sound kind of childish. It's like somebody's learning to speak.
Yeah.
But it sounds nice. It has its own very like unique sound. And no matter where you go in Ireland, everybody sounds different. It's kind of like the dialects over here. Like you'll notice somebody who's from Oulu, Turku, Tampere.
Yeah.
You can pick up the small little distinctions.
Yeah.
And well, Helsinki has Helsinki slang, so there's like a little bit of Swedish, Russian, Finnish, and English kind of mixed in there. It's cool, but in Dublin, it's just everybody has a different one depending on what part of Dublin, the north or the south. And then when you expand outwards to Ireland, like Offaly, Laois, Cork, like everywhere sounds different. And then you have that traditional like slow speaking Oulu dialect. That's pretty much the country in Ireland. Everybody speaks way slower.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. It's here. It's well, usually not too much inside one city. There's not too many like dialects or like slangs, but yeah, it's noticeable. Like especially if you go to the north or the south, it's like yeah, you'll hear the differences and. There are people in Savo, which is Kuopio and everything like around there. They speak a totally different way. They kind of like spread the words in a way like puhuu tosi leveästi, like I would say in Finnish. But yeah,
it's really elongated.
Yeah.
You get that in Ireland. Like,
yeah.
It's if you went to Cork, it's it can be quick. But then there's West Cork, which is obviously by the coast, and it's rolling hills, really, really beautiful. But it's a little slower down there. It's like the world just is taking it more easy than the rest of the world, which is nice. But I think when it comes to like speed, it has to come down to business and where the capital is. Like time is money, and you make money by being quick. So you better fucking speak quick.
Yeah,
and I think you notice when you come to capitals, everybody's like zippy, quick.
Yeah, and I think they have actually, at least I've heard they have made study from that. Like, they put a camera to follow pedestrians when they walk around, or just lead from one spot, and they could there was a correlation of how fast they walked on the population of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see that like in Oulu, people walk much slower. I was like fast for them. I've always liked to walk pretty fast. Here I still walk. I feel like I walk pretty fast. But yeah, I can notice that people walk faster. But yeah, in New York, like I told you when I before this, like that I've been there. I was like around them basically. I'm walking like fucking. Yeah, like you said, time is money. You need to make moves and you gotta be there, and then there's opportunities. You don't want to waste them.
Yeah, Eminem said it. But like, no, I think capitals are like anthills. People just stream in and out, and they're super fucking quick, and they gotta get shit done. When you hit the countryside, life is a little bit slower. Like, yeah, you have a farm. You're just gonna chill on the farm, and you slow right down. You take it nice and easy, and like, okay, work gets done. But in the city, nah, fuck no, you can't. Like I remember times when it's that classic like Hollywood moment of, well, maybe not being drunk, but like I was drunk back in Ireland. Hollywood moment, getting a taxi with friends, and this one person's going for a taxi, and all of us are just like, nope, and we just jump right in. We're like, no, you're too fucking slow, mate. Get quicker. And we take a taxi. And it's that kind of mentality. Like, you're zippy and quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Dublin, well, you learn to walk quickly in Dublin when there's at least 14-year-olds, you know, walking around with knives, wanting to rob your phone.
Yeah.
You walk pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful city. Please visit. Not
because the locals need more people to rob.
Exactly. Look, time is money, man. We're just talking about it.
But yeah, it's like that just reminded me like earlier when that is like actually, even though it might sound corny or stupid to someone, but at our workplace, that like who's got being awesome, like we said, like actually fucking say it out loud. We don't usually say it like too much especially in the workplaces, because there's usually competition for the same kind of things, and everybody wants the promotion, and they don't want to like make others look better than themselves. But yeah, I think it's actually a richness that you kind of like, everybody wants to learn, and everybody can learn from everyone else, and actually like telling them if they did a good job on something. And yeah. Well,
like how does a business perform well? It was like everybody does their job.
Yeah.
The business does better.
Yeah.
Great. Now, who did their job? Let's call them fucking out. Good job. Nice work.
Yeah.
Oh, did you do something? Excellent. Did you? Oh, fucking that's awesome. Keep doing it. That was super helpful. And just call people out for small actions. Like, again, it's just saying well done. And the world needs a little bit more well done, especially right now at the moment, because it's, well, I say that, and no matter what generation you ask, there's like, oh, there's so many problems. There's always fucking problems. We're humans. We're retarded. But like,
some more than others.
some definitely more than others. But like, just call people out for doing well. And it's that speediness again. It's tying kind of together in work. Like when people get shit done quick, leaves more time for fun. Like yesterday, for instance, we all had a big group workout to kind of cap a very busy week.
Yeah.
And we just did stupid shit, but it was fun and it was quick, and we were all doing things that we were good at and teaching each other new skills, and like it was fun.
Yeah.
And right in that moment, that's kind of a copy and awesome moment, because everybody individually was copy and awesome, and we damn well made sure. I think it's part of the Selkrig culture is to call that shit out. It's good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I love being in that. It makes me feel a little bit more like I'm in Ireland in a sense. And there's a really good kind of community.
Yeah. I think I'll have to give props for Aaron to actually choosing all the right people in a way, because many other firms, and I feel like their recruitment process can be like, well, it's not like they don't look at the personalities maybe that much, or of course they do, but at the same time it's not as like it's not a community in a way that I feel like our place is. Yeah,
that's true. I feel over here, this is one weird thing. Finland, explain this to me. Why do you guys care about papers so much?
Paper?
Yeah, your little document. There's your master's degree. There's your bachelor's degree. I have a bachelor's in art. Do I draw circles when I work in a gym? No. Like, I don't. But Aaron saw past that.
Yeah.
He saw potential, and I think more places in general should do that.
Yeah.
See the potential in people.
Yeah.
Because people expand in different ways.
Yeah.
You always hear it all the time. People hate what they do in university. Hate it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, and they ended up doing something completely different when they're out of it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then just see the potential in people and let them do that.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like it's like back in the day, like when my parents were young, that's when you could actually get a job with a degree much easier. Nowadays, I feel like the degree doesn't even matter that much. What matters is much more is experience. Like if you have experience in some field, they're really, really like likely to hire you, because they actually know that you know the things in like real life, not just in theory. You actually have done something. So that I feel like it's much better to have. But yeah, I don't know. Like back in the day, I feel like it was much more of like you have a degree, because almost none of the people had like. Well, none of the people is too much to say, but it wasn't as common to get really highly educated than it's now. It's become more of like a trend, and even the government at some point was like everyone should get like some sort of college degree or something like that, like
some formal education.
Yeah. But yeah, it used to be you have to go through the 9 grades. That's like basic education, and then there is you study yourself a profession, or either you go to high school, from where you usually go to like a university or college or is it like University of Applied Sciences basically. But yeah, nowadays I think the new legislation actually made it so you have to go either to high school or the kind of like a profession school at least, which is kind of like okay, but at the same time I feel like there's consequences that people are not taking into considerations, like the payments and stuff and everything. It's gonna like cost a lot. That might involve tax hikes and everything like that, but I don't know. We'll see the whole effects of the thing later, but yeah, I don't know. Even like it should be much more about like yeah, it's same with me than it's actually with Aaron. We both have an engineering degree, but like you said, like you have an arts degree. But from what I have seen, I would say you're a good coach. Like we did those things yesterday, it was really nice, and you were like on point, clear and precise on what you wanted to do or the client to do. And I think that has come with, at least I think, from experience and actually doing the job. And that's how you learn. And then sometimes you just need an opportunity to show that you can actually do something. Of course, you might suck at it first.
And presumably everything you try for the first time you suck at.
Yeah, that's like, you have to have the beginner's mindset in a way. Like, and that's like, I feel like a lot of people, they don't do that like too much. And they are scared of it because they find something they're good at and they just stick to it because, well, it's maybe because of ego or something. But it is like, once you try a lot of new things, you just find out, or at least I have found out, that it's part of the process. Like, when you start something, you're fucking terrible at it. But once you do it more, and even like the more you actually pay attention to what you're doing and try to do it as best as you can, it doesn't matter how well you actually do it, but try to do it the best way you can, and that's where you actually learn a lot. But yeah.
Well, my mother used to say, there's no sense doing something if you only do it half well.
Yeah.
Do it to your full potential. There's one thing I want to pull up on the experience though, is like, sure, experience is fantastic and you need an opportunity to get that experience. I feel a lot of people are being kind of locked out of that with arriving out of university, ready to hit the professional circuit, and then all of a sudden you need 4 years experience. I'm like, it doesn't, give them a fucking junior position. Like, it doesn't make sense. How is a freshly graduated architect major going to get into the world of architecture unless, one, they know somebody, which presumably they do, it's architecture, or two, have a vast knowledge of experience to kind of, like, no, it doesn't happen. Given these opportunities, because I think we are gatekeeping a little bit. Yeah. Like, I moved over from Ireland. I moved into business. I used to work in video games. I used to work in a bookshop. Used to manage it. Like, sure, I have sales experience and I have art experience, and I had a little bit of coaching experience. But now I'm managing a sales team. Yeah.
Doing a kick-ass job.
By the way, just about holding on. But like, I didn't really have that sort of experience. But I was just highly organized, and I was given the opportunity, and now I'm doing it, and like learning each and every day. And my God, people, don't let me tell you the amount of study that I have to do for it. Like, if you're gonna get good at something, you gotta study. But there was no kind of gate there for me to gain access to. It was like, okay, you seem pretty reasonably put together. Do you want to try this? Yeah, sure, fuck it, I'll try it. And then you go and try it. Yeah. And like, just say yes to things. Yeah. Except don't do drugs, kids. Unless they're the cool ones. But like, just say yes to things, because that's a great way of getting experience. Is just saying yes. Yeah. It might not give you the biggest payout initially, but you don't really need to chase money. Just do stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't worry about money. It really does come and go. Like, it goes very, very quickly. My brother said it to me years ago. It's like, money comes and goes. So just do what you can and save, and you'll be fine. And then just say yes to things. Yeah. And I've been saying yes. Probably before I moved here, I was definitely a yes man. And even more so now, I'm a yes man. And that way I can do fun things, see if I like it, gain experience in things, and just be humbly pretty confident about things. Yeah. And I almost blacked out on my idea because I was just try to think of like a good yes man joke, but then it went away. So, but it's difficult to come up with yes man jokes. Yeah. In prison, there's no difficulty with yes man. It's yes sir, or because you have no choice. Yeah. I have no prison experience. Don't worry, people. Are you gonna grab the pocket or are you not? Actually, that's a lie. I do have prison experience. I've never been locked up or incarcerated. But I did go on a school field trip, and that was eye-opening. Okay, so how was that? Like, how tough was the prison and everything? Well, it's Mountjoy, so it's one of the most secure prisons in Ireland. And when we went, the the warden or
Mhm.
whoever the head
Yeah,
sergeant
that's-
was there,
yeah.
he pulled us aside and he said, ladies, you're just as vulnerable as these young men here. Guys, stick in a group because this is prison.
Mm.
They will go for you. You're young enough. We were like 16, 17 at the time.
Mhm.
And we were like, what? No. They went for us.
Mm-hmm.
There was only the like low security wing, but even then they would. So don't end up in prison, people.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good place to be.
No.
Unless you're totally homeless and don't have like any money and everything, and you wanna have a time to work out and everything. And
Maybe in a Hollywood film it might work out. Well, I've seen The Green Mile. I don't think it works out.
yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, then now I remember the thing that I was supposed to say earlier. But yeah, like you said, money comes and goes. Actually, like it made me think a lot like one of my friends, Abdi Shakur. He's it's fun. Like I feel like yeah, of course I have a lot of Finnish friends, but I have a lot of friends from all over the world, but all over the world basically.
Yeah.
Like just a couple of weeks ago, one guy from Brazil came to here to visit me, and he's actually from Somalia, and you're from Ireland and shit like that. It's like all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just like think of money as a tool. It's just a tool. Don't worry about it. It's just a way of making some other things happen, basically. And yeah, like it said, like it comes and goes, and of course you want to save some and be secure about it, and like not be total idiot with it and just spend it on cocaine and hookers, even though that sounds like a fun time. But but yeah, you just think of it as a tool. It's just like yeah, you don't need to worry too much about it. Just do things and it will come eventually. Like, and like especially, I would say what I have seen. You're good at sales now. You're running the sales team also, and good coach and everything. This came from experience basically, and it's the same thing with this also. Like the first podcast, even though people said it was quite funny, I didn't know what the fuck was I doing. Like, I didn't have no idea. I have seen some people do it, but yeah, Charles was like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
And like, same thing with the photography. Like, I'm taking photos. Like, I just got a camera and started to like actually take photos.
Yeah.
And that's when of course you're gonna like look up some learning material and talk with other people who are doing it, like how do you do this, how can I make this maybe better and stuff like that. But you actually learn from doing it. Like I remember there are like settings on the camera, what's the how much it takes light, how big is the opening of the lens, what is the shutter time and all this stuff. I've heard from people earlier, like how they work basically, but when I got my camera, I was like, I didn't remember shit. But actually, like from starting to take the photos, they get a little better. Now you understand the settings, how they affect the photos and everything. And now at least I feel like in a quite short time taking quite good photos.
Yeah, I'd say you are. Yeah, I've seen your work.
Yeah, and it's crazy, like, yeah, especially this reminds me of I have had a trouble saying maybe that's the Finn in me, like we talked on the way here, like I've had trouble to say actually that I might be like actually pretty good in jiu-jitsu, but at the same time I feel like I have the voice saying that you ain't shit. But because I think like, yeah, I kind of like compare it to like people like Gordon Ryan stuff. Like I'm not on that level. I'm not like world champion of the world champions. But yeah, on this maybe like Finland's level, yeah, I'd say I'm pretty much on the, well, I'm not sure on top what, but yeah, it's gonna be it's like
a high spectrum.
Yeah, basically. And yeah, it's been really hard for me to actually say that and be like that. But at the same time, I've noticed like that is the one thing that I'm actually almost like most confident about. That I actually can do it like really, really well. And from that, I have kind of like learned a lot about the learning curve and stuff. Because I remember when I was getting smooshed on the fucking mat and my...
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Not
just
nice.
like the beginning. And like you, maybe especially you're like quite strong guy, like, and everything you can handle with your like athleticism and size and strength. Well, maybe not the biggest guy in length, but in other ways size. But
width.
Yeah, and width.
Just wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get by that way. But
Yeah.
as we were talking about actually on the way here, it's like, sure, you can use it. It burns out pretty quickly. But wouldn't it be good to be able to just roll back into technique?
Yeah.
Be explosive.
Yeah.
And then rely on technique after that.
Yeah. Because
like, you get there.
Yeah. Because like it can actually hold you back if you try to rely on your like physique too much. Because then you don't try to do things the right way.
Right.
And
well, that's the same as lifting weights. Like you'll see big guys lifting weights and they're not doing it with good form. And sure, yeah, they're lifting some heavy stuff, but they could be swinging it. They could be hiking it up. Could be anything. They're not doing it right. You can be damn well sure in 20 years they're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But the person who does like the smaller amount of weight, dials in on the form, gets it good, and just takes their time building upwards, in 20 years they'll still be able to lift those weights pain-free. Yeah. And that's arguably what you should be aiming for with anything. Jiu-jitsu is the same. Like, take your time, get smushed into the mat. It's not always the most comfortable experience, but you are learning, even though you're failing. And then eventually you start to fail less. And you start to pick up on a couple of techniques that you can do, and I can move this way out of this, or I can go this way out of that. Cool. Maybe sometimes somebody catches what you're doing and they lock you up again. Cool. Well, maybe the next time that they don't. Maybe the next time you need to be quicker. You dial in on that technique. And as you said, you start meshing styles together. You become unpredictable. But that's just growing. Like, everything's like that. Absolutely everything. Writing for me is a huge hobby and something that I've studied very much in my own time. And I'm only kind of coming around to it in the last, let's say, 3 years of saying, right, I'm going to take this seriously now. I remember growing up as a kid, my mother was always saying, you're such a good writer. Why don't you do it? And I was like, I don't want to. I like to draw stuff. And I did. And I was never that good at drawing compared to some concept artists in the industry, in the video game industry. But I put my attention towards that, and I got better. And I got better and better and better. Started my own company with a couple of guys. Didn't go too well, but it's a great experience I got from it. But I had this arrogant confidence. When I moved over here, I'm like, fucking Remedy? They're going to hire me. I applied. There is a subtext to this story now because I know all these people. And I've said it to them. But, didn't get in. And I started to look inwards. I'm like, man, was I that good? Did I put the effort in? No, I didn't, actually. I got to this point where I'm like, I'm the fucking king of the world. And stopped. And not that I gave up on myself, but I'm like, well, maybe I'll try something different. And I started working on that. And I started from the ground up again. Luckily, English is a primary language for me in Ireland. Like, as much as some people do speak Irish, not the entire country. English is the language that we all speak. It's a unified kind of language. And I was open to that. And I started working it more and more. I started getting better and better. And I'd say I'm pretty decent. Again, not Neil Gaiman. Pretty good. But I continue to work on it because I can just upskill it more and more and more. And I think the idea of giving people positive and constructive feedback, notice I didn't say negative because that shit does nothing. You're just being a dick. Don't be a dick. But like, positive and constructive feedback is great because it helps people either realize that there's a roadblock in the way and they can move around it. Maybe they get strong enough they can move it. Or they can just continue to power on. Maybe sometimes that constructive feedback can help people realize that maybe isn't the right path. And they got something different. Like, I don't want to do sales forever. but part of life is actually sales.
Yeah.
You're selling yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything you do.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's a good skill to learn how to do sales because you can turn that on yourself.
Yeah. Sales are everywhere. It's like...
Well, pretty much everything.
Yeah, everything is selling. Like, even if... well, yeah, like everything. You need, like, especially, like, one good maybe example could be a job interview. You're selling yourself. You're selling your skills and your labor and everything. Like, why should we hire you? You need to explain and tell, and not just be like, well, because I'm good. Huh? It's like, who's gonna buy that? Like, if the...
And believe me, I wouldn't hire you.
Yeah, like, if there was a commercial like, this product is good, buy it.
Huh.
How many people would buy it?
A few, because people are idiots.
Yeah, sounds
not many.
Yeah.
Not many. But you can subvert that. You can use that to your advantage. And that's a sales technique as well. Like, arguably, the best advice I was ever given for any sort of interview is sell yourself like a hooker. Hey, baby, what you want? This is not, oh, what can I do for you? It's what you want. Because I'll fucking do it. Cool. There you go. You get the position. You're the person who's going to do shit. And it could be €25, whatever, in the back of your car. Still do it. I won't, by the way, audience. I will not do that.
But it's just like funny when you talk about hookers and positions and doing what you want and...
Look, everything's a sex analogy. It's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Have to laugh at it.
It is. I like... That reminds me of like... I think we talked shortly about this. Like, for me, like, I have a like... Semi like one friend, like the Brazilian friend actually said my sense of humor is borderline criminal and borderline retarded. So it's like...
It's a nice place to be.
Yeah. So it's like especially sexual stuff, and it's a funny subject in a way because...
It is funny, but in this day and age, people are still so fucking locked up about it. I'm like, loosen the fuck up, people.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think you got here? Somebody fucked somebody else, and you came out 8 to 9 months later, maybe 10 months later. Who knows? Hope it wasn't difficult for you. But like, you come out, and then you go and do it again if you want to keep humanity going. Like, we've been doing it since the dawn of man.
Yeah. Like, is it like 5 billion year? No,
that's the Earth.
The Earth is like, but yeah. Well, basically,
it's 500. No, what is it? 500, 300,000 or something. Like bipedal has been existent, but there's been like 4 different types of bipedal human-esque things. Yeah, Homo sapiens just one.
Yeah. But like 5 billion of like even the insects and whatever we were back then. Yeah, they all like fucked. And something else came out of it. Yeah. So it's like the most natural thing in a way. Like, and it's really weird, basically, that people are so uptight and weirded about it. Like, I don't want to talk about
sexual. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And it's like, I like to joke about like that a lot. So you want more?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a little bit.
Yeah, and it's funny to talk about. And I like to make sexual jokes. And some people, they... maybe sometimes take it as a flirtation or like nowadays fucking me too, but I don't know, sexual harassment. I mean,
some people do, but also the key thing with jokes is how you phrase them.
Yeah.
Like, if people know you're a jokey idiot, then they'll get it. But you got to test those waters as well. Yeah. Like, you can't just jump in with your weird jokes straight away. Yeah. You got to be slow about it.
Yeah, and then they're like, who the fuck is this?
Like, who's this creep? I'm not really a creep, but like, I can understand why now.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. People, whoever's listening out there, these are words of advice from a young Irish fellow making his way through the universe on this spinning rock. Laugh at sex because it's incredibly funny and it makes weird noises.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah,
and it helps to go the... There you go. The kind of like tension some people have, like especially like, well, I'll just say that I like pussy farts.
Who the fuck cares? Everybody likes something.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing where people like casts that were on people. I remember watching a weird Channel 4 documentary about it. I'm like, wow, that's weird, but that's a thing. All right.
Yeah.
There's something out there for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think humor can kind of bridge the gap for most people.
Yeah.
Just laugh about sex. It's really funny.
Yeah, and if you're like sticking your dick in something and pumping it full of air, like, what do you think might happen? Like
It blows up like an inflatable balloon, of course. You can make a giraffe out of it if you're talented. Awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay to see it, but I'll laugh if I see a meme of it.
Mm.
But like, there's something out there for everybody. I think Europe's quite open to that, but still, still there's a little bit of a kind of a closed door to it. I'm like,
Yeah.
just fucking laugh about it. Like,
I think
everything.
Yeah, I think Germans are maybe on the forefront. They have like...
They've been on the forefront of a lot of things. Maybe let's not get into it. It's not a history podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, I have heard like there are like a lot of like sex clubs with real fetish shit and everything.
Freddie Mercury used to go to them apparently.
Mm.
I had no idea. I watched the Queen documentary and I'm like, I never knew that about him.
Wonder where he got his A's.
Yeah. Look, it happens. Unfortunately, the 80s had that epidemic, but like, cool. He was enjoying his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing his thing. That I think the most successful people generally tend to be like that, open-minded and just like whatever. Like everybody likes something and everybody does something.
Yeah.
Who am I to say that they can and can't?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because I'm not them. There's a really cool meme that I seen on Instagram like a couple of days ago, and it was this human just talking to a chimpanzee going, look at you, you're so stupid. Chimpanzee responds, is like, you pay to live on Earth. I'm like, we are fucking stupid, aren't we? We're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So like, if you're that stupid, you can't really judge anybody. Just let everybody do stuff.
Yeah. And it's the same meme that I like, which is actually like, it ties up to a joke we have at the gym, but look at you, like, yeah, you look at you stupid monkey in there the cage. Yeah, you go to a gym to go run on a treadmill.
Yeah. By the way, they get you nowhere.
Yeah, they get you nowhere.
But like, yeah, it's true.
Check number one.
Okay, this is marketing 101, by the way. No, they don't get you anywhere. But jokes are good, make people laugh, and I guess it ties back into that kind of confidence to talk about things. And let's say you are confident about jiu-jitsu, and then you end up getting fucked up by somebody just more skillful than you. Yeah, you can laugh about it and go, fuck, I thought it was good, man, I need to do more hard work. Yeah. Boom, bit of humor in there, bit of resolve, bit of understanding, and then you go back and you study some more. Yeah, you get all ties together. Yeah, just be a nice person and laugh. Yeah, and take the piss out of people. It's fucking great fun. You Finns don't know how to react when I take the piss out of you. Me and Stephen get off on it so much. Yeah, most people, they don't have like a good sense of humor, and they don't like the joke. I just don't think they have the opportunity to use it. Yeah, and they don't. Most people maybe don't joke about themselves that much. Self-deprecating humor is hilarious. Yeah, I will use it all the time. Because sometimes people have seen you do something and they're like, fucking Jesus, that's incredible. But if you can make jokes about yourself, like, it kind of brings your ego down in a sense. Yeah. And we don't need massive egos. Yeah. Like, I confronted my writing ego a couple of days back, and I recognized it. I'm like, fuck, shit. So I just start making loads of jokes about how shit I am at writing. It kind of help settle it. Yeah. Well, of course, like today, we went some stand-up wrestling situations with Antti. And I felt like I did something, a couple of things pretty dumbly, and I was like, fuck, why did I do this? Why I'm such a retard that went from there and did that, like, fuck. And at the same time, I know some people, they might think like, yeah, like really funny, but it's like, yeah, actually I do. I feel like, what the fuck am I doing? Why do I do that? I'm supposed to be good. Why? Because you're a big dumb ape. Yeah. Well, who cares? You fucked up. Maybe that moment of you realizing that you fucked up means you won't do it the next time against Antti. Yeah. Maybe the next time Antti might get boxed in the face, like his client punched him in the face. Yeah, I heard. Very funny. Like multiple times actually. It was really good. He showed me the video so many times. That's a person who understands kind of self-deprecating humor. Yeah. And he has no fear in showing it. Like, he done fucked up and he laughs about it. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. He's a good guy. He is. Again, it comes back to what you said about Selkrig community. It's like, everybody in there is a good person. Like, not unique, but like different in a way. Some overlapping in interests. Very let's say, understanding about things, but just good people.
Yeah.
Like deep down in their hearts, they're good people.
Yeah. I'm most all really open-minded.
Most.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I hear there's one guy who isn't. That Jonas fellow who works in the office. Oh, he's a right stuck-up wanker. I don't like him. No sense of humour. None. But yeah. No, everybody's pretty cool in there.
Yeah.
But like, that's kind of what you want to surround yourself in, is that.
Yeah.
To be lucky enough to work in a situation like that. Like,
Yeah.
I see that. Well, I don't see my family. I only have 2 brothers, and I never see them. One lives in London, the other one in Cork. But like, to surround myself in people who do become kind of a second family in a sense. Like, your workplace kind of becomes a family. It's cool to have that.
Yeah.
Makes it really enjoyable to arrive and work in the morning.
Yeah.
And just to be laid into with jokes. It's fucking so good.
Yeah. And that is it reminded me of like humor. I think I have been talking about this before, but it's like a superpower. It can make even the most fucked up things like manageable. I think I was not to shine my own armor like too much, but at the last place I worked, it was like me and this other guy, like Abdi Shakur, actually, like we were just fucking with each other and other people, and it like I've heard like actually some people say that we were the reason that they enjoyed it that much to be there actually. And it was like, it reminds me of like I have been reading at one point like books about like communist China and stuff like that. But like even people who are in the worst fucked up situations in the world, if someone can make you laugh, it's like fuck. And what it can even kind of like take you back, like, did I actually laugh even though my life is in total shit? And it's really weird. And it reminds me of like, I think that's maybe something that a lot of comedians have, like in a way it's almost like it's a good thing to like, if you have trauma, like especially childhood trauma or something like that, and someone actually makes a good joke about like your trauma, it's like for a second you're laughing your ass off, and then like, wait a minute, that actually is pretty fucking horrible, and I know it because it happened to me, but at the same time, oh my god, that was a good joke.
It's a little liberating.
Yeah.
I love making dead parents jokes or cancer jokes. They're like my favorites to make.
Yeah.
A prerequisite, people, is like, both my parents are dead due to cancer.
Yeah.
I'm assumably gonna get it. Can't wait. Gonna be off my face on fucking drugs. Woohoo! I have a reason. But like, it's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
And I make jokes about it all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a thing that's constant in life. Like, it is one of the biggest plagues on human society.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll, resolve to solve that problem one day. It'd be cool if we did. That's awesome. If not, okay, we're stuck with it. Laugh about it at least, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like, gallows humor is such a funny thing. There is a thing in Ireland when people die and you go to their wake, everybody's cracking jokes. And they're celebrating the good times, and they're always telling these ridiculously funny stories about the person who passed away. And you're breaking your balls laughing at them like, what a fucking idiot. That's brilliant. So much fun, though.
Yeah.
It's a great way of celebrating somebody who's dead.
Yeah.
I think the Irish take that and apply it to everyday life. And that's, I think, one of the ideals of the crack that we have, is just everything's just, it's there to be taken the piss out of.
Yeah.
It's there to be having fun with, like,
yeah,
everything. You fuck up on a lift. Fucking people always make jokes about when I fuck up on a lift.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It makes me want to do it better the next time. And I always remember when I go into it the next time I try that lift at that specific total, like, oh fuck, they ripped into me last time. Motherfucking bastards. And I go and do it, and sometimes I get it. I'm like, yeah, I just went up in strength. Nice.
Yeah.
And I rub it in their faces. I'm like, look at you, yes. Oh, yeah, you're a weak little man. That's fun for me. But it helps me do things. I never take anything too seriously, and I don't think anybody should.
Yeah.
Don't live your life with a stick up your ass, because then you're just waiting to be used as a puppet.
Yeah. That is nice. That reminded me, like, I was about to just say, like, about jokes, like, it's a joke, not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard.
Oh, fuck me, I like your humor. It's good. Yeah, that's true. You don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. It's a joke for a reason.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Carr. I think he's an excellent comedian.
Yeah.
He tells some of the darkest jokes.
Yeah.
But he does shine a light on some stuff.
Yeah.
And I think humor makes people recognize that there are some issues that we should probably
Yeah,
work
yeah,
out.
that's like one of the main things that I see comedians do, and
Yeah.
and it's, I think it's part of the art, kind of like
Yeah.
they are like these, what is the word? Well, kind of like watchers of the world.
Mm.
They really pay attention to everything, and they see what are the fucked up things in the world
Mm.
and our society,
Mm-hmm.
and they make fun of it, so people can actually like kind of like it changes their thinking about it basically.
Yeah.
Because if you just say something about something, and it might be just like maybe some people get it, or they're like, well, I don't actually agree with that.
Mm.
But when you actually crack a joke about it and everyone laughs, and you're actually like, yeah, that is pretty fucking stupid that we do it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It is like to take Ricky Gervais, for instance. Like, America has school shootings, and we all know this, and it's a
Yeah.
huge travesty. But I love when he takes a stand against the like my thoughts and prayers, and he's like, "What the fuck are they gonna do?" I'm like, "They won't do anything." But he
Yeah.
makes a joke out of that,
Yeah.
and sometimes he wakes people up to realize, like, yeah, there should be better legislation. No, I
Yeah.
don't think people shouldn't be allowed to own guns. I think everybody has a right to bear arms.
Yeah.
I happen to like hunting. I haven't done it in
Yeah.
a long time, but I think it's an enjoyable pursuit.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to supply for yourself.
I want to do that someday, but yeah.
Maybe don't have an AR-15.
Yeah.
Maybe military people. Sure. Maybe the average 16-year-old American shouldn't. But who am I to say? I'm not American. I don't really know. But there should be tighter legislation. And most of the guns that people use are either robbed, stolen, or like robbed from family members, stolen, or legally purchased, and then the serial numbers are just scraped off.
Yeah.
It's hard to control.
Yeah.
You know, but he makes jokes about it, and he makes people realize that thoughts and prayers don't really do anything, because
Yeah.
as much as this may hurt some people to listen to,
Yeah.
I don't believe that there's a God. I believe we're here and then we're not here, and we have an obligation to do right by people. And I think that's what he's getting at. And I know he's
Yeah.
an atheist himself, but just do good
Yeah.
and poke and prod at that situation, make people realize that it's a situation through humor, and then fix the fucking situation.
Yeah.
The Egyptians were great at fixing shit.
Yeah.
Do what they did.
Yeah. Just reminds me of like, I'm thinking about like both Jimmy and Ricky. They love the word cunt.
Cunt is such a beautiful word. It's one of the best in the English
Yeah.
language. It's so versatile. You can express cunt as a friend,
Yeah.
as a vagina, as an arsehole. Not the arsehole, just an arsehole who's a person who's an arsehole. Your family member, your mother, you can call her a cunt. It's okay. It's acceptable. Your auntie, your grandmother. It's
Yeah.
fine. Doesn't matter. She might have been a cunt. A real funny cunt. Real prick of a cunt.
Dumb
she was a
cunt.
bastard cunt. A dumb cunt. Yeah. You can say anything and put cunt at the end of it. It's perfect. It's like fuck. Like, it just fits into everything.
Yeah.
Shit, balls.
Yeah.
Oh, all of them. They just fit.
Yeah. But yeah, there are like the thoughts and prayers stuff. I think there's been like one meme wasn't nice about this, like, you know, the things that give this a like so Jimmy can be saved from like cancer or stuff. And yeah, it was like a post of like Jesus in front of a computer, and Jesus checking if Jimmy's like status has even enough likes to have actually save him. Like, sorry Jimmy, you're just too short, you're gonna die.
It's so stupid. Instead of doing that, maybe start a GoFundMe to pay for some stuff, and ask for, you know, people out of the goodness of their heart to help. That would go a longer way than getting likes, unless you're getting likes off the back of a Facebook page. I've took this to business. Let's delve into this. Let's explore this situation. But no, they may not be. A GoFundMe, I don't know, Kickstarter might be a better idea.
Yeah.
Praying doesn't really help.
Yeah.
It can bring you greater inner peace, sure.
Yeah.
I don't deny that, but it doesn't really help.
Yeah. And it's like, of course, you can kind of like do it. It can be like you said, helpful for your mind and stuff. But I think why post about it on social media? What do you get from it? Like, I think it's
sympathy.
Yeah, and I think it's just something like about like social points or something like, look, I'm a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a much better person than all of you who didn't put this post up. Well, some people don't think about it like that, but I feel like some people do.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, you can actually, I feel like there you can spot the difference basically, but who are actually genuine, who are like, just like, I'm trying to somehow like shine through. And usually those are the people who actually don't do too much in life, or they hate their life, or at least hate some parts of their life and are not doing that well. And then they try to use that like, I'm a good person actually, like,
justify it to themselves.
Yeah.
Humans are super complex. Like, fuck me. I'd never be a good psychologist because I get pissed off too quickly, or else I would just divulge into just taking the piss out of people.
Well, yeah,
but super complex.
Yeah, we are the most complex thing in the world. I think, like,
I don't think we're the most complex thing in the world. I think we're one of the most complex things.
Well, one of the most at least, but yeah. Well, what is the most complex?
What's the most complex?
Women?
No.
No.
Well, they're human.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm sure to the female perspective, men's thoughts and actions are super complex as well. Just vice versa. What's the most complex thing in the world?
That's a good question.
Why do people like the football team Liverpool? That's a complex question. Are they just stupid? I don't know. I can't figure it out. Man United are clearly the best.
Yeah, that could be one.
I don't know.
And like one other thing, like, well, this is something I actually talked about like last time, but it was in Finnish, but so whatever. Well, I didn't
recap.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I didn't talk about it too much, but I'm not sure if about your like kinks, but why are people in the feet? Like, what is about feet? Like,
I don't know. I'm not in the feet, but like, they're feet.
Yeah.
It doesn't strike me as a thing that I'm attracted to.
Yeah. Like,
but then again, like, as I said earlier, there's people who like to get casts of men and women.
Yeah. And
they're sweaty and like, they masturbate to it. I'm like, that's just doesn't strike me as something I want to do. Cool, I can appreciate it. That's your thing, and that gets you off.
Yeah.
And if you can get off in that way, cool. I can support that. There's other far worse ways that I would rather people not get off.
Yeah.
And my opinion then them people would be to hang them. But like, fair enough. I don't know. Feet don't really do it for me.
Yeah, nothing for me else. Like, but they are like, I talked with this friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
She's a model and she has on OnlyFans and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like, a person paid to her just to shoot a video, a minute video on the sole, like bottom of her feet, and just like maybe a little wiggle them around, and she got paid from that like 50 euros for a minute video.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. I'm like, who are these?
I need to. How did she do that? Tell me how to set on OnlyFans. I need those fans.
Yeah,
that's another revenue stream.
Yeah. That's so nice. Like, I think about like I even said to her like, yeah, what if I like shave the hair off my leg and just put nail polish on my fucking...
I'd be fucked. Look how dark that hair is. Oh, that's cool. Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people have fucking soul kinks. Like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like good for them, and like whatever gets you off, like fuck it. Like, well, there are also these sick people who just fuck animals and children and everything. So that's where I draw the line. Like,
yeah, that's depravity in my mind. That's depravity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That's no. Doesn't the same. It's just the same thing that I just don't understand why people like feet. But feet are fairly harmless, so I don't have any negative feelings towards that.
Yeah.
The other two, no. I have a cat and a dog. I have many nieces and nephews. No, don't go near them. I may not be the best fighter in the world, but I will murder you. I will Liam Neeson the shit out of you. I will find you and I will kill you. I will. But
I have a very set of unique skills.
I have a set of particular skills that I've acquired over a long career.
Yeah.
Why can I quote Taken? Must be the Irish in me. But like, I don't know. That's cool. Good for her. I guess one of my kinks would be exhibitionism. That's cool for me. I like it. There's a thrill to it. Like, I don't know. That's kind of mine. What's yours?
Well, I like kind of like domination, like being actually the one that kind of like. Yeah, it sounds horrible when you kind of like say like you just use the lady in your any way you want, but many women actually seem to like it a lot.
Well, that's a genuine, really well studied sexual kink.
Yeah.
I know there's a person in my life that I talk to frequently enough, and very aware of these things. It's cool. It's cool to hear the perspective from that side as well. Really great understanding of it. Great in-depth understanding of it. And like, everybody likes something different. Sometimes it is that when the woman likes to be dominated. Sometimes it's the other way around when the guy likes to be dominated.
Yeah.
I don't mind being like dominated myself. I think it's cool. Sometimes I want to dominate, and I think that's the kind of push-pull in that certain sexual situation. It's cool.
Yeah.
As long as you don't like fucking choke the person out.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because you like BJJ.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, that is like I said, I'm used to dominating in many like sports and stuff, and that's why I feel like I don't mind like sometimes if the woman takes over, and it's like, yeah, just because I'm, like I said, I'm fucking handling 50 million different things in a day, like you do also, and sometimes you just want to be like, just
do what you will.
Do what you will. I don't care. Just for a second in a day, I don't want to be in charge of everything. Like, just
you want to be Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Do what you will.
Basically, it's not like, yeah, fucking whatever. Just go for it.
Yeah, I think it swings every which way.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're doing no harm, fucking go for it and have fun.
Yeah.
Consensual, do what you will.
Yeah. And then this is something like many people, I feel like they have a really big problem like talking about, and they are ashamed of their like the things they like especially like this is one thing like kind of like recapping from last time, but what is the situation? I can imagine it being kind of like shameful, but imagine the situation where you realize you like getting pissed on. And how did that happen?
I've been pissed on.
Okay.
I didn't like that experience.
Yeah.
It was jumped on me, literally. I don't know. That's another one that somebody just likes.
Yeah.
Turns them on.
Yeah.
I'd love to understand what was the trigger in their life. They do say a lot of this stuff stems from childhood. What was the trigger from childhood that enjoyed urination? I don't know. I don't particularly have it.
Yeah.
But I can understand why somebody does.
Yeah. I think it has to do something about with shame or something like
Could
being
be.
humiliated and stuff like that. I don't understand exactly why people enjoy it, but I can kind of like get it in a way that they just don't. They have this feeling that they deserve it, and they somehow change it from being humiliating to actually enjoying it. Kind of like I feel like
so they get a kick out of being degraded.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a thing of like if you get like linking it to the trauma, like you said, it comes from childhood and something.
Might not be trauma. But
Well, not trauma, but something like that. But it's like if you have a horrible experience with something, maybe you can turn it around. Like the only way you can be certain that you don't ever feel that bad about that thing
again,
is you kind of like switch it, that you actually
make it so it's something that you do want and enjoy in life. Yeah. It's, I guess it could be taking control of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think from what I think sex is, and everybody thinks it's different, I think sex is a form of therapy. For both parties or multiple parties involved. I think it's a form of therapy. It should be. It's an enjoyable experience. It's a funny fucking experience. Like, humans look stupid when they have sex. I don't know if you know the difference between porn and actual fucking, but it
Yeah.
is like night and day. These porn actors face the fucking camera to show people
Yeah.
these maneuvers,
Yeah.
so it looks good, and you can get
Yeah.
off to the fact. Like, have you ever seen a male porn star actually front and center, or is it always a female porn star?
Yeah.
It's always a fucking female,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless it's gay porn. Then
Yeah.
sure, it's different.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of porn out there is definitely straight based porn.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's a form of therapy.
Yeah. It's
And
like.
it should be enjoyed. And
Yeah.
if you do get off to being pissed on,
Hmm.
fair play to you.
Hmm.
It's not my thing, but I'm not going to take anything away from you.
Mhm.
If anything, I'd want to have a situational conversation where
Yeah,
I'm
like-
why?
yeah.
This
That's.
is cool. Explain this shit to me.
Yeah, I understand. But I, like you said about the angles and stuff, I can really understand it because I take photos. Like some angles, even people who like really look good and everything, they just don't work in a way.
Yeah.
And if you just and porn, you have the angles and everything, and the lighting is really good, and everything is just like fucking on point.
It's a really good art form, I'll tell you.
Mm.
Like, it's really thought out. It
Mm.
probably started not being so thought out, but it is a thought out art form now.
Yeah.
It's like marketing.
Mm.
That's all it is.
Mm.
It's really good.
Mm.
And they've gotten very good at presenting it. Like, look at Pornhub.
Mm.
Fuck's sake. That's
Yeah,
a
it's-
business.
And it's all free. Well, it's not like, of course, there are
Mhm.
costs and everything, but for the consumer, it's all free and available like anytime.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that reminds me of a joke that Andrew Santino. I think he's actually part Irish.
Andrew, maybe. Santino doesn't sound very Irish to me.
Yeah, but yeah, he's because he's I think he has the podcast and everything. I haven't listened to it that much, but he's a whiskey ginger. But yeah, but yeah, he said like, if I could go back in time, like people are always going like, I'm going back in time and shooting Hitler or something like that.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, I'm going back in time to see myself as a young boy, and I just pop in and I'll be like, one day, everything like sex and everything nude and porn, it's gonna be on your phone, always available, and then just vanish, and just blow his like little mind that puberty mind that is like horny and going all over and doesn't understand why his dick is hard all the time and everything. It's like that's gonna happen and and then just vanish.
Man, I feel bad for fucking teenagers nowadays. Like, I'm 28. I'm not that old. I was born 93. But at least in Ireland, you still had to buy magazines.
Yeah. I
Like-
remember the magazines.
I had to buy them. It was a struggle. Snuff went out. My imagination got very good. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, God, it's so accessible nowadays. So fucking
Yeah.
accessible. It's kind of crazy.
Can you still do it with just using your mind?
Yeah, I'm a writer. Of course I
Yeah,
can.
of course you can. But yeah, some people, they have like problems with it because they have like gotten used to the porn,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like hard, really tough for them to get hard
Yeah.
and actually like be excited without the visual like senses of actually seeing the porn and everything.
No, I get you. No.
Yeah, but it's weird. Like I also remember the magazines and stuff. Actually, I can say it now, but I wouldn't say this earlier because my mom would be basically, I think, pretty pissed. But the first porno mags I got actually from my father. He came from like some like work trip,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like on their break room. They had them laying around. He just grabbed some of them, and one day he came like home and tossed them on my floor like, there's something for you to read. And I was like, okay.
The first one DVDs I ever got were from my brother. Thanks, bro. And it's a French director, Marc Dorcel. Look him up. But yeah, I still remember it. It was a big liberating moment for me. It was like, I'm growing up. I think definitely at that age, it's tied to you that you're growing up. You're like, ooh, porn. Ooh. It's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's really not that bad. Finnish society has sauna, right?
Yeah.
And a family will actually go in sauna together, butt naked. It's nothing sexual about it.
Yeah.
It's fucking sauna. Like,
Yeah.
it's a time for reflection, conversation, bonding. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just that.
Yeah.
In Ireland, sometimes we would go for a swim. I know my dad taught me how to swim when I was really young, and he was a very athletic and capable swimmer. And like, first time he took me to swim, he like stripped me naked. He got naked, and then he fucking threw me in the ocean.
Yeah.
And I swam.
Yeah.
Just about, almost drowned. But like that was just the thing. It's like, just, here you go. Doesn't matter. You have it, I have it. Yours is smaller right now. It'll be bigger one day. Don't worry. And then we just went and swam. That was it. There was nothing weird about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it definitely stems from religion. But like, let it fucking go, guys. It's cool. Just be naked. It's all good. It's not weird. Fuck off texting me, people. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Kinks are weird. All of this stuff is weird. I don't see the reason why people get hung up on it so much.
Yeah.
It's all normal.
That makes me think about, like, do you actually believe that because it's the big thing, kind of like free to nipple and everything, do you think that it can actually work in a way that if you're, of course there are like nude beaches and stuff, and I think that is like much more easy because it's kind of like restricted in an area basically. But do you think it would work like if ladies would be available, like go to a fucking cello that's right almost next to us, and you could see like ladies tits hanging out. And
let me ask you another question. Do women feel safe walking around alone at night?
No.
Would it work?
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
The idea of it is beautiful. It's cool. Equality. Awesome. I would love that. Are there bad apples? Yeah. Are there bad apples who will take advantage? Fuck yeah, they will.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little bit more accessible. I think in certain circumstances that could be controlled. Awesome. Like a nude beach. Cool.
Yeah.
As long as there's no weirdness about it. Awesome. Go for it. I think we're humans. We were born that way. We will die that way. Awesome. But there is certain societal circumstances that I would not feel comfortable if my missus walked down the road and it invited an attack.
Yeah.
If she wanted to, I wouldn't stop her. I'd say, by all means, go and do it because you have every right to. I don't care. I can walk around topless. And she's told me before, you should because you look good. And I'm like, you're weird, but okay. But I can. I can choose to do so as a dude. I think women should be able to do so if they want. I don't think anybody should say no. But are there certain bad apples? Yeah. I don't think it would go that well. And I don't think some people, maybe not all, I'm not making a broad generalization here, but I think some people don't think of that factor. Yeah. And Finland's a relatively safe country. It's pretty safe, actually.
Yeah.
But there's still some bad apples out there.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't want to be the person who puts in legislation that, like, yeah, it's cool, and then have things start to happen at an increased rate. Yeah. And I think we should be mindful of that. Yeah. And like, if that's the case, dudes could walk around with no boxers on.
Yeah, that was like the next thing. Like, is it like how many women would be grossed out if dudes started to like walk around with their dicks out?
Probably a lot. I think a lot of people, not just women. I think fucking everybody would.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They're ugly as shit. Of course. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to like see any dicks hanging around. I feel like more like.
Let's demonstrate. I'll get naked now. It's not going to be a pretty sight. But like, no.
Can you make it swing without using?
I can, yeah. But like, I don't think it would be good for dudes to do so. I don't think women should either maybe walk around without panties. I think again it invites bad apples, and of course for men it's less so. But I still think there can be other guys who take advantage of guys. Yeah, and there are some circumstances women take advantage of guys, and I think that would increase that. This is something that we kind of have to live with, maybe until we reach a new tier of higher thought. And then we can do so. And you see it so much in sci-fi and in comics as well, that like there's these civilizations who are way higher in thought and more capable of thinking, and they're able to live very liberated. It's a nice dream, and I'd love to get there. It's kind of a Star Trek dream of using your mind more so than your emotions and just thinking about things. You know, but right now in society, No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, women. I would be the most ardent supporter of seeing boobies out all the time.
Yeah.
And not in the sense that you're thinking of, but also
Yeah.
a little bit 50% now. But like, I'd love for them to be able to.
Yeah.
I know that there's people who would take advantage of it on both sides of that kind of coin. There would be people who would take advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a shitty thing to say.
Yeah. But I think it's reality.
It is.
Like, reality has some shitty things, but it's in no means perfect.
No.
But I think right now it is as perfect as it can be, basically. Of course, there are like current situation. There are like these fucking crazy people demanding for crazy things and everything.
I don't think it's ever changed. Like the fall of Babylon was crazy people calling for crazy things.
Yeah.
Ancient Sumerians had their own fucking crazy people. I'd like the prerequisite. I love history. Like it's always been like that.
Yeah.
Always. And it forever
usually
will be.
Yeah.
I'd say. But I think we can strive towards other things.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, we're doing really well. Well, not maybe all around the world. Like there are places like fucking North Korea and stuff like where things are really horrible. But like let's say in the Western societies, we're doing really
well.
Really well.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I don't think it's never been this good, but people don't see it like.
Well, we don't know if it ever has or ever hasn't been that.
Well,
good.
yeah, that's true.
There's so much that we've lost to history than we'll ever know in history.
Yeah.
But me living in this day and age, I feel pretty comfortable living in this day and age. You know, there's some things that annoy the fuck out of me. But it's pretty easy. Like, we vaulted before this show dinner.
Yeah.
To your apartment.
Yeah.
And we ate. Maybe too much.
Yeah.
How easy was that?
Yeah.
You could order fucking food. We didn't have to go out like a hunter-gatherer and just, take down a woolly mammoth.
Yeah, and we didn't even need to go to a store or anything. It's just like, poop, and it's here.
We sat in our fat asses.
Yeah.
And did nothing.
Yeah.
And it came to us. Pretty good. Pretty good. But like, I don't know. It's a tough one. I'd love to hear other people's opinions. Maybe if you have another guest on the show who speaks about it, I'd love to even speak with them about it and see what their opinion on it is. But like, I don't know if it would work. I'd be skeptical. I would hope for it to.
Yeah. But it's like, it seems like, especially like when you look back at history, it's usually when things get too crazy, they have been stable for so long and then they get crazy. That's when the civilization falls, basically. There always has become a new one. But yeah, like empires rise and fall. They have always done that. And I don't know. Like I feel pretty confident about this. Like it seems like looking back at looking back a few years back, I've seen some crazy fucking shit, and I think everyone has, especially with these social justice warriors and everything, like fucking mania around everything, like thinking about, like you said, the universities and the papers. Like now, I feel like they're even less and less meaningful because the education has gone, at least in some places, to total shit. And yeah, it's at least, well, I can say I was at least in one point when when people started to go like so divided and far away from each other, and it seemed like there was no common ground. I even felt it was like a little bit a fear of war, actually. Well, like not too big, but I actually, like, for the first time in my life, I could actually see that might happen at some point.
It can happen at any point.
Yeah, it can happen, but
the
like
Romans thought it would never come to it, but it fucking did.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they beat Gaul, but you know, then they got taken over. Tough shit for you. Yeah, I can kind of get your feeling. Like,
yeah,
I do feel that there was an impending kind of dread of, oh shit will kick off. Really, in this day and age? All right, well, we're a bit overdue for a world war, I guess. Let's do it. Let's get it out of the way, at least.
Yeah.
But I think people can resolve some stuff. I think it just takes opening your mind to, like, why does that person like that? All right, well, I don't agree with it, but live and let live. Okay.
Yeah.
Does it really hurt me? No, actually it doesn't. Okay. And
Yeah.
they like the Spice Girls? Okay, well, I happen to like Decapitated. Yeah, I can get past that. Who gives a fuck? That was a real reach, by the way. Like Decapitated and Spice Girls?
Yeah.
Fuck me. I could have
Yeah.
picked something a little bit more modern. Bring me to
So
the
it's like,
horizon. And
if you
Billie
wanna be
Eilish.
my lover, fuck you.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. But like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck over it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You have your issues. You have your social issues. Social justice warriors are a different thing.
Yeah.
They're hurting something that I love very dearly, which is comics. They don't even read them. Fuck me, it annoys me. They implore such change, and they don't even read them. Like, fuck off. Comics are an amazing way of telling stories to a huge swath of audience. No longer are we looking at, Ulysses by Joyce.
Ulysses?
James Joyce, Ulysses. Really complex book, right? Delved into a lot of different things. Written during a time in Ireland where things were very strifeful. Not the best time, let's say. Really good. Really, really good book. Urge you to read it. Super confusing. Read it a couple of times. Fucking huge. But like, comics are there so that everybody can kind of read it. X-Men's a great example. X-Men was in the 80s, right? There was the gay issue to some people in the 80s. Fuck off the gay issue. Does that person like to lick vagina or stick a dick in that guy's eye? Who cares? Get the fuck over it. They're not forcing you to do it. It was a really good way of presenting these mutants in society who were different because they were different powers or liked different things, and they were able to slowly amalgamate into society. Cool, great. That's the grand ideal of it. And they struggled for a long time. And then there was one side of them who were very hysterical about, like, well, fuck the humans, let's destroy them. They're a weaker race. And there was another side who was like, no, we should just learn to get along, like, which is the idealized side of it. And they handled that kind of issue in a really smart way. And people in the 80s and 90s grew up. I myself watched even the X-Men cartoon that was out, and I kind of understood from a younger age. I'm like, cool, they're talking about this. Cool. Okay, I get it. Fucking great stories though. God, I love Wolverine. He's a badass. So I could be the child that I wanted to be and fall in love with a superhero who was fucking cool and like an idealized kind of badass person. And then I could also understand like a higher issue. Nowadays in comics, SJWs seem to, and sorry if anybody is one, nothing against you, but you're wrong. Believe me, you are. They take this political ideal and then they put it first and foremost, without giving it any kind of burial, to tell a story. The story is strictly about this. And the big issue is like, I don't know, transgenders in comics. I'm like, there has actually been a lot. If you look at like Mystique, technically she's transgender because she's able to go from a woman to a man. Cool, great. There's representation. So just make a character that does that and then put them in a cool story and let them be the hero of the story. Give them a hero's journey. Let them struggle. Let them, thrive, make friends, have the big bad boss fight, and ultimately come out the victor. Maybe they lose. Maybe that's more interesting. Maybe they lose and they go into another arc. And then they have to deal with the issue of losing and get over that and delve into another issue that is systemic for all people, which is losing, and then go that direction. Nowadays it's just like, okay, this is the character and this is what they stand for, and fuck you if you don't like it. I'm like, no, you
and
don't.
they win everything all the time.
Yeah, Mary Sue syndrome is the worst. Or I don't know what the male equivalent is, John Sue syndrome, whatever. Like, just don't do it. Tell a really good story. And represent in a really cool way. When you have your character who's fucking cool, people can relate to, maybe some people can't, but their story is so compelling that they really end up liking the character, and it drives up comic book sales. And nowadays they're really not doing that. They're destroying some stuff. A dream of mine would be to write a Batman comic. I've already written it. It's all about detective work. I really would love to publish it with DC. DC might not be around in 10 years for me to actually do that. It kind of seems like it's...
Publish it yourself. Or do they have like the copyright and everything?
Dude, you'd have to like spend a fucking gajillion dollars to get the rights to publish Batman if that was the case. Somebody will hold the rights to that. Probably Time Warner, and you would have to rent the legitimacy of using that character. But like, it would be nice to to be on my deathbed and go, yeah, I wrote for DC and I wrote a kick-ass Batman comic and people liked it. Like, that was a cool dream.
What if you like write it? It's Badman.
Nah, I just want to write Batman.
A real Batman.
Closest to me that I associate with, like. But it'd be cool. But it might not be there, and I'm very annoyed at people doing this. Like, if you have an opinion to make, do it in a way that tells a really amazing story and helps people wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I think the X-Men were a really brilliant way of doing that.
Mm.
You know, Batman, definitely in the 80s from Frank Miller, was a great way of showing the trauma that this had psychologically on a character and the break that it had. It's a really cool way of looking at psychological trauma. And Batman is a fucked up character. Like, he saw his parents murdered and then he decides to go out at night and beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, that's fucking like...
That's not handling the issues correctly, but it's cool and it's compelling.
Yeah.
But it's told in really good stories.
Yeah.
Do that. It kind of really bothers me. You can probably tell. Tell good stories. People, seriously, stop texting me. I know I'm popular. Fuck off. But tell good stories. Whatever way you can, but tell a good story. Don't tell a story for the sake of sharing an opinion.
Yeah.
Because opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to go around licking everybody's asshole.
Yeah.
So piss off.
Yeah. Well said, sir.
I can articulate when I'm angry.
Yeah. But it's, like you said, just telling a good story and everything. And I don't even have to, like, it doesn't even have to be, like you said, kind of like misfits of society. It doesn't even have to be, like, gating or anything. Because I kind of, like, even feel like that, even though I'm straight white male. Because I want to do, like, jiu-jitsu is kind of like a marginal sport.
Mm-hmm.
I have always kind of like in ways try to do things differently than many others.
Mm-hmm.
And that is hard for some people to understand. Like, I have talked with some people and they kind of like, this was the most kind of like, well, not annoying, but hard for me to grasp comment that I actually heard. That one girl once said, like, why wouldn't you be like anyone else so you don't why wouldn't you be just like anyone else, because that is just easy. It's like, well, fuck, that's just like, why?
But is that being me?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And it's like, I have these fucking photographs that some people would say that's fucking, you're just some weird pervert or something. I don't know. I have heard like a lot of comments that you just want to see half naked ladies and shit like that. But it's not about that. And like, I am just some aggressive asshole or something like that because I like combat sports. No, I'm not. I don't know. It's like,
well, I've heard it myself from like, you lift weights, so what do you know? It's like,
yeah,
a lot, but you've never really taken the time to speak to me, have you? Do you know all these other things that I like? No? Alright, well, fuck you. You can be ignorant all you want. I don't really care.
Yeah. And
some might call me ignorant for making that comparison and drawing delineations about lazy writing compared to good writing. And like, yeah, the X-Men was written by men. Ooh. It's also written by women as well. Like, let's not forget. There's a lot of different people in comic books.
Yeah.
But people have their opinions. Fuck them. Because ultimately they're wrong. They are wrong because you're you and you have your opinion, and your opinion is more truer to yourself than their opinion of you is. They see the outside. You see the inside. Inside has a lot more grit than the outside. Do what you want. You know what they said about Bruce Lee when he first started his fighting style? Yeah. People were real detractors, like the Hong Kong ancient kind of methods of doing this and having their formations and taking it to film and then doing it their way. Like, look at him now. He's praised as a fucking landmark hero of Hong Kong film. Yeah. Jackie Chan even said it. And he's also praised as a hero of landmark Hong Kong films. And actually a lot of them, like, they're really good. But they stuck with what they did, and they just did it despite what the detractors said. Because fuck detractors. Yeah,
of course. And it's like, every time, especially if you try to make something new, I'm not saying I'm inventing the wheel again, but
nobody invents it. I think they just add a new spoke to it.
Yeah, and it's like you do something new, especially if you. It's really kind of obvious, much more obvious in a way with music, but like, and at first people are like, "What the fuck is this?" And like, but then they slowly and like within time they kind of like get into it because if something is actually really new, no one really knows how to respond to it basically. And that's how the response then again it comes along, it becomes natural, and then kind of like it switches from like being like what the fuck is this, then actually okay I maybe understand this and everything. But like with the Bruce Lee, like you said, even with the martial arts and everything, he was like, before him, it was basically, if you study Kung Fu, you only do Kung Fu. If you study Taekwondo, you just do Taekwondo or Karate or Karate, or how the fuck they say, like really well. But it's just like, and he started to mix and match. It's like, what if I take this and I do this and I also do this? And that's, well, I'm not saying that's straightly the basics of like a birth of MMA basically.
I'm sure there's many people who have hands in the birth of MMA, without a doubt.
But yeah, that's the basic idea. You mix and match all the things that actually work and put them all together to make something that can beat basically any other style, because you take all the things that work and mix them together. But yeah, it's
you make a lethal cocktail.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
It's pretty fucking cool. It's really fun to watch. But it's nice. It's nice if you have a little bit of in-depth kind of knowledge on it, and then you can see it's like, oh man, that was a really good transition. Fuck, they worked that real well. And then you have feints and counters you have to throw in the middle of it, and you know that ever ongoing chess game. It's a really cool thing to see. Mixed martial arts is really enjoyable. Yeah. Maybe Bruce Lee was one of the first. I don't think anybody's ever the first. The first caveman who invented fire, whatever. Could have been a complete accident. Most of the coolest things in history have been complete fucking accidents. Look at Coca-Cola. Complete accident.
What's the story behind that? I don't even know like too much.
There was a chemist who was trying to make a remedy for headaches, and then he ended up inventing Coca-Cola. And he was just that good of a businessman that he made loads of money off it. Good job.
Okay, yeah.
That was it. Like, it was meant to be for headaches. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain it was for headaches.
Well, I could,
check let someone do it. Don't Google. It's the easy way out.
Yeah. But it's I think the guy who invented antibiotics was like, he left something in a petri dish that he shouldn't have left, and then it's like came back and like, hey, it actually has made this kind of like weird thing while it's away, and then it came like, we developed antibiotics from that. Like,
some of the coolest inventions have just been mistakes. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Like blue cheese actually was like, I think there was a story. I heard from Jamie Oliver, not personally, of course, but yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, and he was like, told a story like, he had this guy he made this big block of cheese. He was on his way into a market to sell it, but he found a girl on the way. And then they got along with the girl. They went into a nearby cave to do the things. Hanky-panky. Pussy party and everything. But he forgot the cheese there. And he like came back again to get the cheese later. And he was covered in this mold and everything. And then he was kind of like, fuck, this cheese, it ruined, but it cost me a lot. So he went to the market with it, and people loved it.
By all accounts, that's a fucking badass story. I hope it's real. I hope he got his bit and also invented blue cheese. That's cool. Yeah, could have been that. I don't know. But if that's the way it came about, it's just the best kind of accident. Yeah. That, in Bob Ross's terms, is a happy accident right there. And there's another person who kind of pioneered his own stuff, and he had many detractors. There's a cool documentary on Netflix actually about Bob Ross.
I've seen it. I haven't watched it, but I've seen it.
Watch it. It's he's such a cool legacy, but oh man, I feel bad about it. It's a really good one. But he was a person who, like, just tried something new. Maybe let's just do landscapes my way. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy did it before. How did he do his style? Fuck it, I'll try that. And went with it.
Yeah.
And he had his detractors.
Yeah.
But he also had ardent supporters. And then, you know, now look at him.
Yeah.
The happy painter.
Yeah.
What a fucking awesome perm. No, it was horrible perm. Nobody should ever look like that. He's the only one who can pull that off.
There's actually a UFC fighter. I can't remember his real name, but his nickname is the Violent Bob Ross.
I've heard that. Fuck me. What a great name.
Yeah, he actually looks a little bit like him.
It's better than the Notorious.
Yeah.
Like, Notorious is just...
Yeah.
Stop it.
Notorious B.I.G.
Cool. Awesome. McGregor, sorry if ever you hear this, I'm sure you could kick the face off me, but you're not that notorious. Yeah, you're a good businessman and all, and you're a very skilled fighter, but notorious? I'd reserve that for maybe Stalin, Hitler, Mussolini, Pol Pot. They're quite notorious. You, just a fighter, dude.
Yeah. He was actually like the highest paid athlete, but it was mostly from other businesses, like where he got paid most. But yeah,
fucking fair dues to him. I can't hold that against him. I don't technically like him.
Yeah,
but like he done his thing. I'm cool with that.
I kind of like him in a way, of course, and I'm a fan of his like fighting.
Yeah.
And especially the trash talking and everything. It was
beautiful.
It was great.
Yep.
But yeah, of course I'm not a fan of his like fucking mistakes, and well, everyone does mistakes, but yeah, he went like crazy throwing the trolley on the bus and punching old people and fucking all this shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and I feel like he's losing his touch in a way.
He in Ireland we say he lost the ball.
Yeah.
Or he lost his marbles. Like, he's gone off the deep end in a sense. Jesus, that was 3 Irish terms for the one term.
Mm-hmm.
You are welcome. But like, yeah, he went a bit crazy. He went a bit power crazy.
Yeah.
But like, who doesn't when you get to that level of infamy?
Yeah.
He could better name, infamy. There you go.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, especially it's hard. I have even experienced it
Make it a bit more though.
Yeah, of course I can pour myself even more, a little bit more.
Thank you. This is just, by the way, for you listening. It's very, very gracious host. He has some Jack Daniel's bourbon and some Coke, which is nice. It's always nice. It loosens the tongue.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak while he's pouring, of course. Today's sponsor is brought to you by Paddy Power. Place your bets on Paddy Power. There's, I don't know, a 2-1 on whether McGregor is fucked for life. I'd say he is. Tough shit for him. Broke his leg. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
What else of our sponsors? This is also brought to you by Dumbbells. Go to gyms, pick them up. They're really good for you.
Yeah.
What else? Weird sexual kinks. If you're into them, enjoy them. But, you know, don't do the other ones. They're bad.
Yeah.
Like, drugs are bad. So are other things. Drugs are also fun. Do them.
Yeah.
What else? God, this is difficult to host now by myself. There's a lot of pressure.
You're doing well.
I'm just fucking doing shit.
No. You're manager of a sales thing, so sell this shit.
Okay, I'll sell this shit. If you would like to become big and strong, I would say Trenbolone is really good, or Trenabol as it's formerly known. Get you nice and big. Penis might be tiny after it. It's a risk you run, guys. You could be gigantic. Gigantosaurus Rex. What else? So much else I have to say.
Yeah.
That's it. And thank you to our sponsors. He's just back now, so welcome back, your gracious host.
Thank you. That was really nice. I like the gambling man of Trinidad.
Oh, that was retarded.
Yeah. I heard it can... Well, I'm not like too special on this. Kind of like how they make the... I think it's about like... Because your body uses so much testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And when the testosterone like the one you inject basically stops, your own testosterone system goes a little bit haywire, and it might start to produce much more estrogen.
Yeah, the levels come out of balance.
Yeah, and then when you might get the male tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything. It's
them lovely jubblies.
Yeah.
And inky dinkies, that's small balls. Inky dinkies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, that just reminds me of like in Grand Theft Auto 4. Have you played GTA 4? Of course you have.
Of course I have. Yeah.
Of course you have. Like there's the character Brucey Kibbutz,
Yeah.
the weightlifter guy, and everything else. Like, is there anything funny with your boss? There's nothing funny about my boss.
I remember that. God, I gotta play GTA 4 again. That was a good game.
That was a good game. I think it's actually in overall it's better than GTA 5, even though GTA 5 had multiple characters and much better graphics, of course, but everything. But in a whole, I think GTA 4 was better.
I think GTA 4, from my opinion, was really a great product of the time. When we started to step into like the smartphone age, and we had like social media starting to become a thing, and it was just a really good kind of touching stone or turning point in like how we were. Because we've been in the digital age for a while, and of course GTA 4 is the first in the Rockstar GTA series of the HD series. Although word in the street is they're like remastering 3, 4 Vice City and San Andreas 5.
I think they kind of like remastered it, but not in a way like actually made it HD. But yeah,
I think they have. Maybe we have conflicting evidence.
I'm not sure because I have the San Andreas loaded up, but it's not like
no, they haven't done it yet. They're doing it. But I think they're trying to put the Euphoria engine in, which is the physics engine that they had. And you're gonna see why I love video game development now in a second. And then they'll upscale the resolution of a lot of things. I think it'd be good. I'd love to play GTA San Andreas and even Vice City with a cool new physics engine. Be cool. But like GTA 4 really touched on that point where everything was becoming more digital. Everything was becoming more one-to-one, like instantaneous. And it was, I guess, the struggling of Nico Bellic, a man from a different time trying to fit into America, and it's also an allegory for us trying to fit into a new time, trying to work things out. And you could see Roman, his cousin, said he had things worked out but didn't. And that's another allegory, and it's a really well crafted story and really brilliant game. And it played well. And the story flowed well. And the chaos of it was fun, of course. It's fun to run over grannies in GTA. You can take your stress out that way. It's so much fun. Don't worry, I don't actually run over grannies. Just children. And
that's how you win the game.
That's how you win the game. But like, it was a good game. It was a really good game. Fuck, I'm gonna play that again.
Where are the Melanie and Stephanie with the big titty?
Wow, you really quote that, don't you? Oh man, I can't even remember any quotes from that game. Nico,
my cousin. Yeah,
there you go. That's the only one I got.
It's like, cousin, you wanna go bowling? It's always on the wrong times. Like, fuck, not now.
Middle of a mission. Nico, fuck off. Get out of here, Roman. And I penalised you for not going there as well. I'm like, fuck you, game. You tell me to do a mission, and then you're just gonna penalise me for not hanging out with my annoying cousin who lies. Fuck off.
It makes you feel bad. Tries to make you feel bad about it. Like,
it's a good game. That's a really well crafted game. Fuck. I'm gonna play it again. Thank you. No worries. It was I think it's one thing that was a little bit annoying about that. It was like the driving, but no, I think it wasn't the best physics, but if you got good at it, you got good at it. Of course. I loved it. I loved being able to drift around a corner and then kind of slightly rev like a little bit and then just kind of cut close, because I used to make the videos and obviously I had it on PC. I love making like the stunt driving videos, and just cutting real close to the edge of a car and then coming out of it and then speeding off like a Tarantino film or like a classic Hollywood film. And of course that's what they go for. If you've read the book Jacked, which is
by whom?
Kabinski, whatever. I forget. I'll tell you after, and you can put it in the liner notes. But it's an in-depth look at Rockstar Games. Or formerly DMA Games from Scotland. So when they started, all the way up to through the pre-production of GTA 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's really fucking cool to see how Dan Houser and his brother and is Dan Houser? No,
I think it sounds familiar.
Anyway, the three guys basically. Two of them are out of Rockstar now. There's only one of them left. That company's probably going to go to shit, I can imagine. But yeah, it was a really good look at how their influences influenced the games that they made. And then eventually, you know, we got GTA 3, which was a fully realized 3D sandbox, and like you could see the film references, and they've never really lost that. I thought it was really good. And then the things that they were influenced by, they eventually just took over in terms of capital, to which video games are now the biggest selling media market in the world. Billions and trillions.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
When is I think there has been some talk, but is the next Grand Theft Auto coming out when? Do you have any idea?
Fucking no clue, dude.
Yeah.
GTA, like, well, Rockstar as a whole.
Rockstar, like the Red Dead Redemption and everything. They're fucking amazing games.
But they're zip tight about when they announce things. Because I remember when GTA 5 came out, and I remember watching the Michael trailer, and I had Queen. What was the? Well, that's Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder, Skeletons. It was on the trailer. It was on the trailer.
Yeah, but then they had Queen's Radio Gaga for
Michael.
Yeah,
that was a.
And I remember watching that like fucking thousands of times, and I was trying to figure out. So I'm like, okay, they definitely put a hint in here. When is it being released?
Yeah.
And for an entire year, I sat there like on the edge of my seat, anticipation just for that damn game. When it came out, it was great. Of course, it's GTA. They're super well produced games.
Yeah.
But like, they're super tight about it. I'm waiting for Bully 2. I would love Can's Kingdom Edit 2 to come out, and I don't know if they ever will. Because that was a really experimental project for them, as was Manhunt, as like Rockstar Table Tennis, which was actually a fun ass game. But like, they try these things, and I think they hit gold with Red Dead, and I think they hit gold with GTA, of course. I'd love a Bully 2. I really want that to be announced next. But they go like 6 to 8 years between projects. They really take their time. Like, and the biggest changeover was GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Yeah, that was pretty quick. Yeah, but like between that, Red Dead was released in
the first one
2010. I think 2 years after GTA 4.
Could be. Was it 2009? I
think
it actually it was no. It was 2008 or
I think it was 2008 because I was in third year.
Yeah, I know. Like I remember
middle of high school.
Yeah, I wasn't in high school yet because I remember we bought the game with my brother, and he was like asking me, how long is your day today? And I was like, I have school until, was it like 3 or 4? And he got off at 12 or 1, and he was like, fuck you, I'm going home and I'm playing, because we used to kind of like play together. When you do one mission, I do one mission, and we.
Or if you die, you switch.
Yeah, if you die, basically that. And then he was like, "Fuck you, I'm going home and starting to play." I was like, "Fuck you, I'm leaving school right now. Don't start it yet."
That's nice.
I left early, and I said something like, "Yeah, I have a dentist appointment, so I have to go."
Good. My I think it released on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember this. There used to be a rental store like Blockbuster. Yeah. It's called Extravision in Ireland, and my brother, what a legend, went up with me, and you could pre-order an 18's game if you were with a responsible adult, and you could buy it. Yeah. And he went up to me with the Extravision in Rochestown Avenue, and we walked in, and I went up to the counter, and I'm like, I want to pre-order GTA 4, and the guy was like, no, and then my brother came up behind me, he's like, he's fucking pre-ordering it, and the guy was like, oh, for fuck, okay, pre-ordered it. That was 3 months out. When it was released, he left work early, went to Extravision, waited for me. I left school early, went to Extravision, and we went in together, and he's like, okay, we have the pre-order. Are all pre-order copies sold out? Yeah, okay, I'll give you €80. Give me one of them. And he took somebody else's pre-order. So he got one, I got one, and then went home for the weekend and played. Completed the game that weekend. Just stayed the fuck up and played it. It was good. I remember sitting there on my Xbox 360 just like 4 a.m. in the morning, and I heard a noise, and it was in my mother's room, And I was like, fuck, is she going to give out to me? Because I had the TV on, like, 3 volume, like, nothing.
Yeah, I know.
And she didn't. And then she came in when she'd woke up at, like, 6:30 or something. She's like, you still playing that fucking game? And it was a Saturday morning. I was like, yeah, I am. And I didn't finish until, like, maybe 2 a.m. on the Monday morning leading into school. And I went into school, like, pretty much dead.
Yeah.
But I went in complete. And I was like, I completed it. And I done all this and I done that. No, everybody did.
You could spoil it for everyone.
I didn't know. I'm not a dickhead.
Yeah, but yeah, you could have. If they start to bring a dick, like, I'm gonna tell you if you don't stop that shit right now.
Yeah. I almost did that for Game of Thrones. Yeah. Because I'd read the books and I'm like, well, I'll tell you what happens at this point.
Yeah.
But I never did. I held that power. Like the sword of Damocles.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
You were such a good person for doing that.
Yeah, I'm a good person. No, it's just like, TV shows different, of course. We all know that now. But like, what's the point in spoiling it? It's a cool story. It's really well crafted.
Yeah.
And the TV show, at least up until season 4, done it justice. Like, there's a couple of things changed.
Yeah, I heard there's a couple changes, but was it Sir Barristan Selmy or what was the guy's name?
Selmy,
yeah, I think I heard that he didn't die in the books. Yeah. No.
There's some more stuff to happen there. I like my Game of Thrones theories.
Yeah.
And now the channels are back to normal, where they're actually delving into the theories of the books, which are way more interesting. Because a lot more characters are alive than are dead.
Yeah.
And it's good now because everybody solves R plus L equals J. Oh wait, we all knew that. Like, Jesus, the first Game of Thrones was released in like the 90s. I think it was penned in the 80s. Like, it's pretty old. And I'm just waiting for the Winds of Winter.
Yeah, the last book isn't complete yet.
Well, there's 2 left.
2 left. Okay.
Winds of Winter and then something else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then there's Patrick Rothfuss's King Killer Chronicles. Waiting for that. Motherfucker, release that last book, dude. So good. Such a good series. And there's the 3rd book is going to come out.
Okay.
But he was one of the inspirations for me to become a writer.
Oh, nice.
Patrick Rothfuss, Neil Gaiman, of course, and he's comics like Sandman, Sandman, and of course his actual literature works, and also Terry Pratchett, which he worked with, which was fucking awesome. Good Omens, read it, watch it, really good. But yeah, God Almighty, I want that 3rd book from Patrick Rothfuss. Motherfucker, release it. And
that reminds me of like one good story, and I think you have the tattoo of it, like The Witcher. Yeah, it's. I think I haven't only played the 3rd game, but the Netflix series was actually really, really good. I think
it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, as a die-hard Witcher fan.
Yeah.
I didn't find that many problems with it.
Yeah.
Things were a little bit changed here and there, and there was a lot of the forced diversity.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, look, this is Polish folklore.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But also, in that period in time, there was a lot of traders. So yeah, it's totally fucking possible.
That just reminded me of like, one girl that she's like a model in her spare time to like basically they're called TCFD projects basically, so you don't get paid to doing them, either the model or the photographer. They're just like building up portfolios and stuff,
kind of like exposure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she actually like had a photo shoot of like cosplay of being Triss Merigold.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, and well, even though, well, I'm not sure if it was. It felt a little, the one in Netflix. It was a little, I don't know, because in the game and everything, she's this red-headed girl, and it feels a total different vibe than the one in the
show.
The show.
Well, she is described as having like fire red hair.
Yeah.
No, there's people out there who argue that it was never said in the books. It's like, yeah, it was. It's actually specifically
but
stated.
Yeah, this is her as an.
Oh, that's fucking badass.
Yeah, that's actually.
That actually ties to how she would have looked in the books with a little bit of the video game mixed in. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
But of course, because she had an aversion to specific magical things. She was more nature based, of course, which is cool. That being in the trees, that's like a really cool understanding of the character that's kind of down to earth.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah, that was good. I was actually, when I saw it, I was like, that's better than on the show.
Yeah.
And that something like that would have been like really cool in my mind. But then again, you can take like artistic liberties in a way.
Of course.
But I don't like it. Didn't show too much of that, like fucking. Why I'm blanking out on the word, even though you just said like the diversity. That really showed, I think, in the newer Star Wars movies.
Let's not get started on them. They're not Star Wars films.
The first one was pretty decent.
No, they weren't.
The Force Awakens.
Fiction. That's what it is to me.
Yeah,
Force Awakens. Yeah,
that was pretty decent, even though it was a kind of like a copy of the New Hope.
It's a direct copy.
Yeah, just
beat
like
for beat.
Yeah,
it's
basically
a direct copy.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, after that, especially the other, the one was after that. I can't remember what was the name of that film.
We've ruined the franchise, and we've ruined the franchise again. Yeah. They were the two film names.
Okay, yeah. I'll take that. And but yeah, it was, you could see that there were some characters that it was like, what does this bring to the story? Basically, it was just like to have some person there that's
representation.
Yeah.
Doesn't sell
that's
very good story.
Yeah, and like, you can see it actually, and it's like,
you could have just given it to one director to do 3 films and let them write and direct their story and have a really flowing continuity and let their imagination run wild. Would have been a way better outcome than what we got, because Rian Johnson fucking flubbed it. The guy ruined Star Wars for everybody. He made Luke Skywalker look like a pussy. Let alone that he was actually the foretold prophecy. It wasn't Anakin, it was Luke. Like, fuck off, you've ruined it. You're an idiot and you don't grasp anything that you're doing. I don't care how well paid you are as a director and writer. You've written one good fucking film, and Kevin Smith sucked your dick about it for ages. One good film.
Yeah.
Give it to anybody else. Tarantino would have done a better one. And I don't even know
that
if
would
he
have
likes
been
Star
interesting.
Wars. Yeah, like, fuck off. There's tons of more like appreciable directors out there. Way more. But like, no, they just ruined it. I don't like the new. It just annoys me. They're really bad. They're just really bad.
Yeah.
They have no direction. They have no focus on characters and building strengths. Like, Rey was a badass from the start.
Yeah.
Luke was a fuck up from the start. That's what made him so likable. If they'd have made Rey stupid and kind of strong-willed and like just an impetulant kind of brat, and then through the lessons she learns with narrowly escaping from Kylo, cool, the character grows. She's on that hero's journey, and I want to be invested in her because I really want to see her triumph. No, she could wield a lightsaber. Boom. She knew how to fly the Millennium Falcon. Awesome. She was just super capable of everything. I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. Like, how? No. It doesn't sell the character to me. Yeah,
like you said earlier, like, it's actually, in a way, much more interesting to see her lose first, or someone lose first, and then actually triumph from that. And it's like...
it's the hero's journey.
Yeah,
they have to lose before they succeed.
Yeah.
It makes it compelling for humans, because that's generally the way we do things.
Yeah, like we said earlier, like, at first, you're a fucking starter, you're a beginner, you're a dumb shit, like, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And even though if you have kind of like the talent or
you may have a natural aptitude, but it doesn't mean that.
But you don't know how to wield it, basically.
Well, Usain Bolt wasn't born a fucking Olympic sprinter.
Yeah.
He had to work damn hard at it.
Yeah.
You know, there's
harder than anyone else.
Yeah. Like, Sarah Gazmans, I'm sorry, I'm butchering her last name. Is an amazing lifter. Fucking so cool. Very beautiful. Like, really humble. She wasn't born with that, like, gift just to be able to do it. She worked really hard to do it. Yeah. You're taken away from the character if you just make them amazing at everything first. Yeah. The character that I'm writing, Bran, he's probably a representation of me in some sense. Of course he is. But I take everybody and I put them into the book and, like, upscale some things and downscale some things. I like mix and match.
Yeah. What is this book?
It's my trilogy that I'm writing.
Okay.
That was a very shameless plug, and it was slipped in very well. You're welcome, audience. But no, it was just like he has his issues, and he can't be perfect from the fucking start.
Yeah.
And when you meet
Because
him at the start,
is?
he's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole setup is you see him now at this stage, and then we go back and we see how we got there. And in the 3 books, we go even further back in time, and we're trying to explore his like broken psyche and how he comes to terms with the pains of his past. It's probably a way for me dealing with my parents' death, in fairness, like, and how I can come to terms with it and become a decently responsible adult and be a nice person and not be a fucking jackass in the modern world. That's him, and it's a struggle. Ray from the start was just like, I'm perfect at everything and fuck you. Finn, you're stupid. I would have much rather if Finn was an actual light side user. Imagine he had the Force, but he was also a stormtrooper, and he had that internal knowledge, but he was conflicted, and he had that inner confliction going throughout the 3 films, but at the end he did side with the light side, or maybe he became the villain, and then Rey also had a connection with the Force, and she was from the dark side. Like, you could have done so many fucking cool things with those characters, but no, you decided to make Finn a fucking joke, Rey just an unstoppable being, Luke Skywalker useless old man, and then you had this purple-haired woman who was like, well, I'm in charge now. It's like, you were superseding a person who's been in more wars than you, with more combat experience, and you're assuming command because you're what? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, if that was me in the situation, I'd hit her a box and go, no, you're not. And I would take command. And I'd mutiny it. Because I'm like, well, now we don't have to sacrifice a fucking ship.
Yeah.
Because we need all the ships that we need.
Yeah, yeah.
We're facing the fucking Empire.
Yeah.
Or whatever they were called. The First Order.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really poorly written story. It doesn't sell anything from you. It doesn't sell the struggle versus light and dark.
Yeah.
The first ones did. I would argue that the original 4, 5, and 6 really sold it.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 actually sold. It was kind of really good films now. When
Even
you look
though
back,
people,
you're like, they're quite good.
Yeah, people say the prequels are shit, but I think they're really good, actually.
No, I think the last 3 films, those fan fiction ones, really have shined the light on the prequels. Like, they're pretty well written, actually. They're really well written.
Yeah.
Like, I liked seeing Anakin grow up and grow a bit of arrogance and being told he's the chosen one and then fall from that. And that's why we see the fallout in 4, 5, and 6 of him realizing that his son is actually the chosen one. And that's why he repents at the end. It's fucking cool. That's a really long hero's journey. Yeah. Really long. Luke had it slightly quicker. Cool. Leia, also in the Star Wars books, is a fucking badass. And their kids are badass. We could have taken their kids and done it. Maybe carried on the Skywalker trilogy. Like, that would have been cool. Or choose a completely different one. Go the Old Republic route. Let's show Revan and Bastille. I think her name was Bastille, which is a French word. But like Bastille. There you go. Thank you. I knew it came to me. Show their journey. That would be cool, because Revan was a pompous dickhead as well, who stood for like, well, you know, I'm right, and then he just destroyed civilization, but Bastille separated herself from the Force, and then came back and then helped to save Revan, but ultimately was the hero of all that arc. There you go. There's a really strong female representation. You could have done that. That would have been really cool. I would love to have seen that. She's a cool character, and Revan's also a cool character who was conflicted, so he's kind of like Darth Vader in a sense. Really cool. But no, we'll just put somebody who's super powered, somebody who's a joke, and we'll just get rid of Luke Skywalker because he's male and toxic. Like, yeah. You've ruined it now. You've really ruined it.
Yeah, especially in the 3rd film, you basically saw the social climate that was on, because everyone that was a leader or was in kind of like important position, they were women. I don't mind that in a way, but I mind it when it's forced on me, basically, and then it's just not natural.
Well, does anybody have a problem with Cleopatra? No.
And I remember, like, there are these old films like, let's say Alien. Yeah. The main character is a woman.
Cool.
And she's really fucking good.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah, Sarah O'Connor.
Terminator. Really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like, there's so many great representations.
Yeah.
We should really do that, because they were just cool. They were badass. Yeah. They showed ultimate courage and grit. They showed compassion and love. Rey didn't really show a lot of compassion for me. She never really sold it as a compassionate character, and I think part of being an archetypical hero is showing compassion.
Yeah.
Learning to show compassion,
Yeah.
and then exemplifying that and leading as a leader by showing
Yeah.
compassion.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really shown. Like BB-8 showed more compassion than she did. He was a bleeping little robot.
Yeah.
He was a football waiting to be kicked, and I guarantee you, if I was on set, I would have tried to kick that.
Yeah.
Like,
just like one thing from BB-8. I think he kind of like, it was kind of like cool and cute in a way, but at the same time, after Neil Patrick Harris, no, not Neil Patrick Harris. Neil Patrick Harris is a fucking actor, but the
he's
fucking
Doogie Howser MD.
yeah, but I mean the astrophysicist, the black guy,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, Neil. It's both Neil, so I just for some reason went the other way. I went to Barney Stinson.
Weird how your mind.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He said that in the sand, a ball rolling, and like the other part, that shit don't work. And because I have an engineering degree, I'm like, yeah, that don't work at all. Like, fuck. It started to annoy me for that reason. I was like, shit, that is stupid in a way.
I tell you a little story. I used to do downhill biking and dirt jumping, and also just street biking.
Mm-hmm.
And not street biking on the fast bikes, like a dirt jumper but on the street, so you kind of ride it low saddle.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time just in a beach somewhere, and there was these beautiful big drops from like a high concrete barrier to a lower concrete barrier, and we were just doing drops and doing some tricks, and I decided that I'd double gap it. And I go from
what is a double gap?
Like a double gap is like, rather than clearing from the top concrete like pathway, and there was this like a long stretch of stones down to the second one, and then the second one led to sand. I would double gap, so I'd go over the first long stretch down, then over where we were landing and onto the sand, and I would jump that, and I did it. I was like, fuck, cool. Tail whip, came back in, landed, and instantly as soon as the wheels hit the sand, poof, I just flew from the bike. The bike stopped in the sand. It just would not move. Instantly it stopped. There was no forward motion, and I fucked myself up too. Broke my arm, and it really hurt. BB-8 wouldn't work. R2-D2 would.
Because he has like actual like fucking.
He's bipedal. Of course.
But yeah, like thinking about like, what are the kind of like most, let's say, memorable and lovable characters we have. Like one is maybe, I think almost everyone has seen The Lion King. Simba was a fuck up at first.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Scar. He's a badass.
Yeah, he's a badass, but yeah.
He's ambitious. I like it. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, but he was also kind of like a dick in a way, and trying to be so kind of like devious and everything. But yeah, Simba was a total fuck up.
Yeah.
And he went on to with his buddies and being like, anything doesn't matter. I'm just fucking chilling out here in my paradise, which is basically your mama's basement, and with your boys, and just fucking eating and being lazy shit.
Well, he was a kid. Simba was a kid.
Yeah, but he kind of like grew up on the...
Well, he was spoiled and pampered.
Yeah.
But I think at the start when, I forget Rafiki is the monkey's name, when he shows him off on Pride Rock, like, you could tell then that, like, wow, he's idealized.
Yeah.
Cool, he's pampered.
Yeah, because
then
he's
he loses
son of
everything.
the king.
And he loses everything. He has to start his journey.
Yeah.
Then he starts to learn, and he learns from generally a wizened old man or a wizened old woman. It's either a witch or a wizard, generally.
Yeah.
But he learns from what is it, Timon and Pumbaa? Yeah,
Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah.
And he starts to learn the way of the world, and it's different than you thought. But look, here's how you make it. Then he has outside intervention. We need your help. He falls in love. He realizes that he was being selfish by locking away from the world. He goes to confront his fear, which is Scar. Ultimately, and here's the funny kicker, there's all the females of that pack who help him. And then he helps overcome, and he becomes a stronger, better, more welcomed representation than his father, who was, in a certain sense, different. And he is inclusive among the pack,
yeah.
and like I'm assuming, I think this is the thing, like he forbids like hunting of things in the land, and like let's go like outside for the source.
Yeah.
Cool, really good. He was a cool character.
Yeah.
My favorite, I think, is Jack Black from School of Rock. Just, I love him. Dewey Finn is a great character. He's a really well written character.
Yeah. And Jack Black is funny as fuck.
Great person to act as.
Yeah.
Of course, he was neighbours with Mike White.
Tenacious D.
Oh, I love Tenacious D. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I've heard really, like you've been playing the songs.
Oh yeah, I love him. Anything Electric Six, Tenacious D, just stupid like innuendo songs are really fun.
Yeah, I know. It's sometimes weird, like when you're in the gym and suddenly you hear like a Bloodhound Gang and something like that, and you're with a client, and I don't know if they listen to the songs anytime, but then there's like, then it's like, well, there are these songs about like dicks and like JC Land, dear JC Land has a road to explain.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's like you had a lot of dick, you had a lot of dick.
It's good. It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. But sometimes I'm thinking about like, well, of course, people are not that sensitive. I feel like at general, but some people might be. But it's like I'm just a little bit looking around. Is someone like actually like listen to this? Like, what the fuck is this?
Some people cop it. Some people don't. You can get away with it in the gym, I think. Now, of course, if I'm wrong, people can correct me. I think when you're focused on a workout and it is a certain thing, when you're counting off, like you're doing reps and you're counting down like 2, 3, 4, the further you get into that set, the more focused people become, because now they're starting to focus on the uncomfortable pain of it, to where you can start to influence their mind. And this was taught to me by a particularly wise person, that you can actually influence what they do in that situation. You can do it in a very positive way. Sure, you could be a dick and you could influence other things, but should you as a coach? No, you should influence in a positive way. And it's generally getting them to realize that they can do things better than they thought they could. And that's why hypertrophy is a horrible bitch. But if you get your clients to do it, you can go, hey, come on, we have 3 more. You bring your voice down, like leaning into them. Okay, now we got 2 more. What I want you to do is focus on the squeeze. Good form. Make sure you control here, 90-degree angle. Okay. And you get deeper and deeper and deeper. It's like a form of meditation. Do you think at that point that they're thinking about, dick?
Yeah.
No. They're way too focused on what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's good for the coaches, for morale, to have that little stuff in the background where you get a cheeky little smile on the gym floor. It takes all that stress right off the top.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I like that music, and that's the reason why I want to put it on in the gym. Sometimes, it's metal. Sometimes, it's pop.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think innuendo rock is quite funny. I'd love to put on Steel Panther, but unfortunately, that's maybe a bit too much. Just a bit. Like Glory Hole, fucking great song. But I wouldn't be having going, let's all go down to the Glory Hole. No, because we all know what that is. At least everybody's seen porn once.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good. I don't know. Who is your favorite character ever?
I don't know. That's a hard question. I like a lot of like. I just remember just like thinking like when we talked about the prequels of Star Wars. That was, I feel like, maybe one of the first films that I actually bought with my own money. Or I think it was with my own money. My brother, I think there was maybe some of my brother's money. But I remember it because I was counting. We had the currency was then markka, basically marks, and to say it like in English way. And I remember it cost 100 marks, 100 markka. Yeah, it was like I was counting. I had like this big clear box where I put a lot of like coins and stuff, and I was counting. Do I have it? Yeah. And it was like, now I have it. Now I have 100 marks. And I went to the local ärkioski.
Yeah.
And went there, and I remember the counter even being like counting the marks and being a little bit maybe frustrated, but it was like, okay, sure. But then it was like, 100 marks, and there you go, I got the VHS. And I remember when I was little, I watched that movie like fucking, I don't know, even many times. I remembered basically all the lines and everything at one point. But I think in some ways, because it's actually quite well written, like we talked, even though some people shit on it, but whatever.
Well, I think the people that shit on it are the people who preferred, obviously, the originals. The
Yeah,
4,
yeah,
5,
yeah,
and 6,
yeah.
and it was a bit too different. But I think they're very good.
Mm.
But please continue.
But yeah, I remember I did the same also basically with some Harry Potter films and with the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, there's perfect writing.
Yeah, but it's I think I kind of like rewired my child brain in a way. I watched it so many times, and I have been thinking about it like sometimes later on that it is that the reason I kind of like, even though I never was really good at explaining that what is it that is like a good morale and what is it that you morality and what is it that you should do in a way in life, because I got it, I kind of like taught it to myself from the movies basically. Who are the good guys and why are they the good guys, and who are the bad guys and why are they the bad guys.
Yeah.
Even though in a lot of cases when the writing is really good, the bad guys have some good features and the good guys have some bad features, and it's a struggle of like we said, in a way of, I feel like almost everything in life, it's a battle of good and evil in a way.
Well, nobody's 100% good. Nobody's 100% evil. Like, even, this is going to be bad, but even Hitler had some positive traits, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, like he had a dog and he took care of that dog and like everything like that. Like, that's not like a...
Yeah. But he also had some extremely negative traits.
Yeah.
And some fucked up beliefs.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody's good or bad. I think you can't categorically declare if everybody's good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's difficult. But Star Wars did present an option for you to explore those kind of morality issues.
Yeah. And I've been thinking, like, I watched those so many times and everything. Because I feel like throughout my life, it sounds corny, but like no one is special and everything, but I feel like I, in that sort of way, at least different than anyone else, that I usually had a really good morality on things, and I knew what was right and what was wrong in a like really deep way, even though I really didn't, like, half of the time didn't really understand why I'm doing these things.
I think it's coded into us as well, kind of in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, the hero's journey is, I'm going to come back to it, it is a really good benchmark on how you could also measure your life. Because there's no way that you've been through your life that it's all been easy. And you've grown through strife. And you've had to face the bully. And you've had to face, like, the big villain.
Yeah.
The big villain might even have been your own prejudices. Yeah. Like, you said you have friends around the world. There's a massive amount of xenophobia in this world. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But
the fear of other.
Like, H.P. Lovecraft was a massive xenophobe. Undeniably brilliant writer, but huge xenophobe. Like, what a dickhead. Same with Hitler. He was a massive xenophobe. What a fucking dickhead. Did also do a lot of great things for the German economy.
Yeah, at first, like,
most definitely.
Cleaned up
I think war does that in general.
Yeah.
Look at America. He was a fucking horrible person. If I had the chance to go back in time and kill him, would I? No.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't. Because maybe I wouldn't exist.
Fun fact also, like, Hitler was the first person to run an anti-smoking campaign.
The Nazis done some weird shit.
Yeah.
Weird shit. Early days, they were kind of lax about things. Do you know they used to pump the German soldiers full of heroin?
I heard meth.
Oh, meth. Sorry, you're right. Meth. And also, it was freely accessible for German citizens to use meth. Much like anybody could use paracetamol. Fucking crazy. That's why they were so fearless in Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, and that's why the Blitzkrieg worked, like, really well, because they were thinking, like, everybody needs to sleep, so they're not gonna be here until, like, tomorrow at noon. But they were fucking doing meth and driving the tanks and like, fucking let's go. And then they were there in the morning and the French were like, what the fuck? They're already here, and they got overrun.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Genius, but horrible. I'd like to condone that Hitler was a horrible person and you know, he was a fucking dickhead, and let's hope that the Nazi organization never rises to the power that has ever been. I don't want a Wolfenstein in real life. That would be horrible.
No, even though those games are quite fun.
Very enjoyable games. Please play them. They're very enjoyable, even the originals. But like, that's the thing with morality. It's really difficult. I think that's why really good, compelling storytelling kind of helps you understand those grey areas in between, because life isn't black and white. It's very fucking grey, and you've had moments in your life when you can go, man, that was a shady decision. Like, I know some of my decisions in life, I'm like,
I of course we all do
that.
We all do that.
Yeah, but that's when stories can help. I think that's the power of a story. It can help you be a better person, and well crafted ones can really have a fable that you can take away. Like, Aesop's fables were known for being really good stories to give you, like, at the end, a piece of information that helps you be a slightly better person.
Yeah,
really well crafted.
Yeah, and that reminds me of, like, at least when I was younger, and you remember all the Disney classics, basically, and I remember, like, parents and all the other people usually asking, like, what was the lesson or the morale of the story. And I think that is lost with, like, when we get back to, like, adulthood. We don't think about, like, when we see movies and stories, that what is the actual learning from this, what is the morale of the story. Like, usually it can be like, don't be a shitty person, don't do this, and everything like that, and like I said again, like a battle of good and evil and stuff. But it's I like a lot of those classics. And one movie again I watched like a million times was Hercules.
Really good Disney film.
Yeah.
Beautiful for animation as well.
Yeah.
I studied that, and that's one of those films that when you study animation, you look at that. So fucking good.
Yeah.
Created all these new techniques. Great story for Hercules, though.
Yeah.
Pretty true.
Yeah.
To the Greek myths. But like a really good story with a huge moral at the end.
But yeah, it's before I forget this, like I mentioned earlier about the, even though you might have some talents and everything, you usually are almost afraid of it at first. I think that is like shown in one way, like the newer Guy Ritchie movie, the King Arthur. And it's like in other movies, of course, as well. But when he first got the Excalibur in his hands, he kind of like felt its power, but he didn't know how to use it. Do you need to take that?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah. So he didn't know how to wield his power and use its power, and he kind of like crumbled under its pressure.
Yeah.
He just blacked out and everything. I was like, oh, this is too much. And he goes like, I didn't choose to be this. I didn't want this, and everything. And that's like, I even have felt a little bit like that with like sports sometimes. I feel like it's maybe I have like I'm not sure. Like I said to you earlier, I might have like a slight ADHD or something like that. And that is really good with sports because you have like high energy and you're really concentrated on something if you're actually into it. And that is something that I'm really into. And it's like, it feels like I have this almost tremendous potential in it, even though it's hard for me to even say it out loud. But it's like, basically, because you see what you could maybe achieve if you actually put your time into it and sacrifice a lot to it. But it's scary because it might be something you have actually basically dreamed of, but you can kind of like have a slight feeling that it could become reality, and it's scary in a way because before it was just a dream. it was just it was all a dream.
Yeah, but you were still in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Where now you have to get into your growth zone.
Yeah. And
like shit, now I need to do shit with this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's a heavy amount of like pressure to take on.
Yeah. It's basically it can be in some sense it's a burden, but it's not a burden because you actually want to do it. But
it's a gift. I think being in that situation is a gift.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being put in a position where you work quite hard at something, okay, and then you're going to step at the next level, and you're scared of doing that, but you do. How proud of yourself are you at the fact that you did that?
Yeah.
And you, not anybody else, but you took it upon yourself.
Yeah.
To take that step.
Yeah.
And to push the fear away. And to become the person who you always dreamed of becoming.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. A lot of people don't do it. Like, John Lennon even had said stuff to the lines of that, as well as actually Ringo and Paul. They're like, they never dreamed that they could be as big as they became, but they did dream that they would be big. And when they did, they felt a huge amount of obligation to like really change the way that they did it. And I think that's what symbolized the change in the Beatles, was they went from the generic like poppy rock kind of stuff to being more experimental and to really presenting people ideas. And I think ultimately that kind of also led to the breakup with the Beatles. Fuck you, Yoko. But John went on to start to have very deep and well thought songs about social change, and obviously Paul went on to Wings, and I think they all kind of went and did something actually. George Harrison went on to really get into religion and explore that kind of mythos. Ringo was Ringo, but like they all kind of went and stepped even further into that field of like, okay, well now what's the next thing? And they had the balls to do it. Like McGregor had the balls to do it and put his money where his mouth was. Yeah. And he fucking did well. Yeah. I think everybody should. Yeah. Can everybody do it? No. But you won't know if you can or can't if you don't try. Yeah. And it's at least worth trying. Yeah. Because then you can pick a different avenue to choose after that. Yeah.
And it's, I think, at least that's what I feel like, you're always gonna regret it if you didn't try. That is that will haunt you to your fucking grave if you're not gonna try. Well, that is something I also like to try to say to people, like, if there is actually something you're really passionate about and you wanna do it, and especially if you have any talent, like any talent in that area, just fucking go for it and see what happens.
Give it a go. Yeah. What have you got to lose? Yeah. You only really have more experience to gain, more learning, more knowledge, and knowledge is power. Yeah. Like, look at Machiavelli. Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, and then about knowledge is power, this is actually really nice that I like about The Lion King. I'm not sure if I said this to you earlier, like back in the gym or something like that, but what does Mufasa say to Simba pretty much in the start of the film?
You're a wizard, Harry? No, that's not correct. What does he say?
Everything the light touches is your kingdom. Like, if you at least think about it like philosophically or like in psychological sense, everything you have illuminated, enlightened, you already know that is your kingdom. That's what you know. Yeah. Outside of that is everything you don't know. Yeah. That is like chaos, basically. Yeah. And how much bigger you can grow the area you have enlightened, the much bigger is your kingdom, much better you can do things, and much more prepared are you for life. Yeah. So go out from your comfort zone and just fucking try. Yeah. And that is like also with jiu-jitsu, like that is where I have seen it. When you first started, it's a fucking mess. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
I'll tell you from my perspective, it's tough.
Yeah, there's so many moving parts, and it's like even the slightest details make a big difference. Yeah. And once you actually gotta like get good at it, at least a little, you start to like manage it. Like, okay, I'm the master of this chaos, kind of like.
Yeah.
And especially you get really, really good at it, you can kind of like start to play with it even. And like you can guide people to places where they don't want to go. Like, well, that's not a good thing to do in life in general, but like in this sport, like you can, because you're just in control so much of this one thing.
Yeah.
You can kind of like be the actual like master of it, and you can control the chaos that is people fucking fighting and flailing around, exploding, doing all sorts of things. Yeah, but you can control it, and that is a lesson in life basically, because life is fucking chaotic.
It is.
But if you can, by expanding your knowledge, you can start to control the chaos.
A little bit, day by day, minute by
Yeah.
minute, second by second. Like
Yeah.
you can start to control it. It seems as if this has turned into a bit of a self-help podcast. People, do what you want to do within reason, and know that you can.
Yeah.
These are the wise words.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's true. Like, I agree. You have to explore your comfort zone. You can't just stay in it. You need to get into that growth mindset. It's a great place to be. Sure, it's scary as balls.
Yeah.
Like, moving to Finland was scary.
Yeah.
But I'm here 5 years later, and I'm doing pretty fucking well for myself.
Yeah.
I just stuck at it, and I continue to grow. And unfortunately, audience, no, I'm not the best at Finnish. I'm pretty minimal in Finnish.
Yeah.
Like, vauva suomea, like baby Finnish. It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
I will get to it one day. Now, I'm extremely busy, and I'm trying to build up my capital, let's say, over here, and I'm trying to really solidify my roots. Then I'll get to it, of course. I'm lucky, I'm fortunate that you guys speak such fucking good English. It really makes it easy to speak English. And okay, maybe I should put more effort into speaking Finnish. But like, it was scary. And it was a big change. It was a huge social change.
Yeah.
Like, it was night and day, as we said at the start of the podcast. There are definitely key differences. But I stuck at it. And I really applied myself to growing over here, independent from the mindset that I had before, and expanding it. And as I said, like, I thank my friends who helped me level off over here. It's been a big learning experience, Finland, so far. And I'm hoping that I can make it a learning experience for other people as well. And let them know that just do stuff that pleases you.
Yeah.
Laugh at everything.
Yeah.
Don't take anybody too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, life is serious enough, and then you're going to die.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun while you do it.
Yeah.
And make friends and make enemies and fuck them up if you have to, and whatever you need to do, but just do it.
Yeah.
And don't stop doing life until, like, you can't anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, your proteins go to whack and you die.
Yeah.
But just do it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf was fucking right. Just do it. My dear Jesus, that guy's a wise
Just
man.
do it.
But, like, it's true. Just do it. And have fun with it.
Yeah,
and
that's
laugh
true.
as much as you can.
Yeah, that's true.
As fucking much as you can.
Yeah.
Because
That
it
is
really
true.
makes everything better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it's like I can relate to those. Like, of course, it's not. I haven't moved like in another country at least yet, or I don't even know what my like. Or I have like some ideas about stuff, but I don't really actually know because the situation can change. Because at one point I couldn't even imagine that I'm right here where I'm right now. But yeah, I've been going to work to Sweden at one point. That was like, I didn't know what the fuck I was kind of like doing. I just trusted a GPS on my phone that that's where I need to go, and I'll go there, and then I find out what happens next, basically.
Yeah.
And I went to another city to study. I came back to Oulu, but it didn't feel that. I felt like there wasn't too much growing happening. Only thing I grew there was like the jiu-jitsu part, because there is actually pretty good gym in there that has a lot of killers and stuff. But yeah, moving here last September I have been. It's been a year now.
Has it?
Yeah, now it's been a year actually.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It feels weird. But at first I didn't even have a job. I lived off like with this what is it?
Social welfare.
Basically, yeah, but it's with the union for welfare, basically. For but yeah, I lived off that for maybe a couple months. Then I went to do some construction shit.
Mm-hmm.
I have done that a lot. I know I don't like it that much, but I did it because I needed money and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That ended. I went to sales. I did some sales. The compensation model there wasn't the best, so I quit that and everything. I went to another sales place, and from there I ended up in Selkrig.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it felt like, even though it seemed to me like I have said this before, but it felt like, even though it's pretty corny in a way, but it felt pretty much like blessed, because I have worked really fucking hard, like on sports and everything else in my life, like especially those times when I was in Ylivieska, where I studied the engineering thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to engineering school and going to compete in the Europeans in fucking at the same time, training like a maniac, doing all sorts of dumb shit, trying to educate myself also, other than the school thing also, of course. And that's just one thing. People, the school is not your only education. Fucking educate yourself on your spare time.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop learning. That is the thing that I want to emphasize. But yeah, whatever. I worked hard, and even when thinking back at it, I didn't have maybe the best methods of doing that, because at one point I trained like 12 to 14 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, every training wasn't like full on mayhem, yeah. But at the same time, it was a lot, especially going at the school at the same time. And yeah, but at the same time, I felt like I was let's say in high school or in like middle school, or what is it called in English, whatever. People are pretty level in a way, but when I was there and doing that, I started to like
excel a bit.
Excel, yeah. And when I go back to Åland to see my friends, I saw them like being pretty much on the same level and that they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in a way where I started to like feel like if I actually like do stuff, I can kind of like rise above.
Up, yeah.
Yeah.
I have felt the exact same when I go back to Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've had conversations with actually Stephen, the guy that we spoke before, about this. Like, it's really sad to see people still in the same level.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're that age. And I'm like, man, have you not got any aspirations?
Yeah.
Do them. Don't have fear. Just fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to go back. And I'm not Richard Branson. By no means am I hyper successful.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a hell of a lot more successful than I was in Ireland.
Yeah.
And I'm bound to be a hell of a lot more successful in the future than I am right now.
Yeah.
Because I won't stop trying to do things and saying yes to things. Like coming on this podcast was, fuck it, I want to do it. I really want to go on a podcast. Like, I want to have fun on this.
Yeah.
I want to talk about things. I want to bring up points. I want to listen to your point of view and share my point of view. It's cool. This is a learning experience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird to kind of go back and see that. It's sad. And also joyful in a way. It's joyful to me to say, like, I'm proud of me doing something. Like, that's cool. It's a little bit dismaying to see people like, man, you're doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, why?
And it's really painful when you see the potential in them, but they don't like utilize it in any way.
Not in any way. And then when you go back and you see people doing shit, you're like, fuck yeah, I knew you could. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and I have been told once in my life, that I was the catalyst for them changing.
Oh.
They said it was a big brave thing about you moved to Finland. I said, you can move anywhere in the world. People have been doing it for thousands of years. It's not that brave. Come on, quit with that shit. I'm like, no, I'm going to do this. 2 years later, I went back and they were doing something. I'm like, fuck. Okay, that's cool. And they said it to me drunkenly in a bar one night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were the thing that changed it all. And I'm like, cool. I'm glad I could provide that.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But you did it. Like, it wasn't me. You were the one who stepped through that door and started to take that journey. Like, you were Frodo Baggins. You were Bilbo at that point. You went on a journey. Yeah. You're still on it. Yeah. You're not going to complete it until you take your last breath. Yeah. But you're doing it. Yeah. I guess that's the moral of this podcast, is do things. Yeah. Laugh, live. No, I'm not going to say that. That's gay. Apologies. In Ireland, we say that when it's something stupid. It's no derogatory term. Yeah. But yeah, like, just do things and laugh at things and never take yourself too seriously, because it's not really worth it in any sense of the word. Just do things. Be Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. Maybe not as mental, because he's fucked up in the head. Yeah,
he's a little off sometimes, but
sometimes. Yeah. I haven't seen him being on since Holes, which was a great film and book.
Yeah. I think it was one thing that I'm not sure how on he was, but he was just like, I liked his I don't give a fuck attitude. I don't know what it was, but it was this some weird Zoom call or something where there were like a lot of celebrities. Mm-hmm. He had a costume on of like this weird surfer dude, and then he was just smoking like big ass joints and everything, and being like, when everyone else was trying to be like really like, we need to talk about this thing and everything, he was like, yeah, fuck all this. Basically,
he's kind of clued in, even if he looks like he's checked out. Yeah, fuck it all. It's all way too serious. Yeah. You have the power to make your world small. Make it small and do what you need to do with it. And if anybody has shit to say, listen for a little bit. If it seems like it's good, take it in. Mull it over. Make your decision. If it's just yattering in your ear and it's people complaining, fuck off. And that's how I think that's how you get through life.
Yeah. And that's like when you said they told you that you were the catalyst. That is like, that's when they're like, I hate it when people say that not anything that we do, it doesn't matter. Like, nothing we do matters. Of course it fucking does.
Everything we do matters.
Everything matters. That is exactly how I feel. And especially like, it never really occurred to me that well before I heard Jordan Peterson say like, you're probably gonna meet like at least 1,000 people in your life. And then you meet another person, he's gonna meet another 1,000 people in his life. If you kind of like add it up, you're basically with just one person or at least two persons, you can affect 1 million people. 1,000 times 1,000 is million. And that is just like a crazy ripple effect. And
everything ripples out.
Yeah.
This conversation may ripple out.
Yeah.
Hopefully in a positive sense for people. Yeah. But you're affecting people. Yeah. Everything you do matters. Yeah. Even the smallest thing. Could be me saying hello to you in the morning and going, hello. Instantly you're going to go, what's wrong? As opposed to, how's it going, dude? Two different things. But those two things matter. They're two different distinctions. Yeah. And they matter. Everything does. There's not one single thing that you do that doesn't matter. Like, cleaning your own fucking house matters. Making your bed matters. Walking your dog matters. Saying hi to your annoying neighbor matters. Not saying hi to your neighbor matters. Like, everything does. Yeah. Like, it's weird how it all kind of factors together.
Yeah. And it's crazy in a way. And sometimes, like, you don't even think about it. But, yeah, it is.
You do. You have a big knock-on effect on people. That's why I would say that you should put your best foot forward, not really care about things, and laugh your way through life. Yeah. Sure, when things get tough, you should take them seriously, but you should also be able to look at them with a bit of humor and go, well, is it that bad? Yeah. It's pretty bad, but am I going to let it affect my stride? No, I think I'm going to continue on, make a couple of jokes about it, take it in, internalize it, deal with it, put it back out there, and put it out there in a positive way rather than a negative way. Yeah. My dad always said to me, it was like, if you see someone being picked on who can't handle it, let people laugh at you instead of them. That's the way that I kind of live my life now. I'm sure you've seen it in work. I don't care whoever fucking laughs at me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Sure, I could put you into the ground by taking the piss out of you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people could do that with me. But it really doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I'd rather people laugh at me because I can take it.
Yeah. That reminds me of like one of the first days I came there, and I remember you like we were filling the fridge with drinks, and you were kind of like, "Come with me," and went like this fucking crazy jumping running thing, and I was like, "This guy's a fucking character, basically." Like, yeah, I like the like I don't give a fuck attitude of it, like. You don't care.
What's somebody going to say to me? Stop? No, fuck
Yeah,
you. Piss
yeah,
off. I'll
yeah.
do what I want.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I like this. I like this. That is cool.
Pay me and I'll stop. Give me some money, I'll stop for you. Right? Do it that way.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking kick-ass like writer's job for the next Star Wars film. Then I'll stop. But until then, no, piss off and do what I want. Like, fuck everybody else.
Yeah. Even though this is like, if you have time, I think about like talk to you about your writing. You said about like you're writing a trilogy.
Yeah.
And you're actually like developing games also, or was it? Yeah. So how did you end up with those, and like how's it going? Like what have you basically done, or yeah?
Well, I started how do I start from this? I've always loved video games, as you can probably tell from the conversation.
And comics and stories, and
I'm just a nerd. I'm just a buff nerd, I guess. I'm a fucking idiot. But like, I fell in love with video games from a young age, and I really wanted to make them. I didn't know how. And I looked at animation and tried my hand at animation, like traditional Disney style or Japanese style animation as well, just to see what the techniques were. Started in that, and it wasn't really for me. I liked video games too much, and then I got the opportunity to jump to a video game college and try my hand at that, and I was a reasonably okay artist, let's say, with some potential. And I started doing that, and my main focus was art, but I love the writing side of it. And in school, I threw as much effort as I possibly could towards writing. It was always just like filling the side notes, the liners, with like pieces of information or a song that I was listening to, and I wrote a particular thing to evoke an emotion, and trying to get the person who was reading what I was doing to read it in the way that would sell that second in time. Trying to get them to connect to it. And my teachers, fucking God bless their heart, they tried. But one of my teachers, Miss Barks, actually loved it, and she told me to stick with it, never give it up. If there's two things that you have a good grasp on, is musical connection to emotion and writing for emotion. I'm like, okay, cool. Kind of slipped a little bit. Done the art in college, and kind of gravitated towards the writing as well, and finished college and started a video game company with a couple of guys. Relationships kind of go sour, and even to this day they're rocky at best, and I think there's two very similar egos meeting in one room. It creates conflict. Yeah. But this person's a really nice person, and I feel bad for some of my actions, and I hope he feels bad for some of his actions and stuff like that. Again, it's one of those things when you are your own worst enemy, and yeah, you do make bad decisions because you're not inherently perfect. And I started the company, and things were going okay, and then things went sour, and I pulled out and I moved to Finland. When I came over here, I applied to a lot of video game companies, and I didn't really get past first stages. So I was like, okay, let me dump my portfolio. Fuck that. I'm going to just work in business because that's a great way of making money and getting a base over here. So I did. Started working in sales. I worked in B2B, and it was like 3 years over here. I got very depressed, and I wanted to change everything. And I knew I could affect my physical presence. I'd been doing it for years. I could change the way that I looked immensely. It was ridiculous, the power that I had. I was like, okay, well, if I can do that to my physical sense, can I do it to my mental sense? Yes, fucking course I can. Went and started doing that. And I just started penning stories, short stories, anything, doesn't matter. I started to write about shit things in my life, and just make them fucking humorous, stupid, ridiculous, out there stories. And eventually from there, I stumbled across this idea of, okay, I'm an Irish guy living in Finland. What if the modern world we lived in had an actual connection to the myths that we lived in, but they lived in secrecy, but they had good allegories for what we are as humans? Okay, where can I go with this idea? And I start penning some stuff up, and then I moved a little bit further. I'm like, well, what happens if I put some negative traits on top of this character and some positive traits on top of this character and make it really fucked up and hard to understand? Cool. What happens now if I take that and I set it specifically in Helsinki from an outsider's perspective of Helsinki, but write it in a humorous way that it reflects on the past and it shows a journey of a person as they come through negative emotion to positive emotion and back to negative. And then eventually my idea would be back to positive. And I decided to look at how my mindset worked and put that down into one book. And then that one book became 2 books. And then 2 books became 3 books. I'm like, well, fuck me, I'm ambitious. I'm going for a trilogy right out the gate. Okay, well, Tolkien didn't exactly do a trilogy right out the gate, but I can, let me attempt this. First book is complete. Second book is in second draft, and the third book is all noted up. But I stopped part of the way through the process, and I realized that I wasn't as good as I thought I was. So I was like, okay, cool. Guess I need to learn a lot more. So I got masterclass stuff, and I've been working with a writing teacher, writing instructor, and helping in other regards with other books, and just trying to fill my time at writing some web comics as well, which not really something I talk about, but a little bit. Tried it with a friend, and then reached out to some other people, and have been doing a little bit here and there just to kind of throw it out and just test some of my ideas. And only now I'm starting to get back into the second book, really hard on, with an actual strategy in mind to articulate what I want to say properly, and see if I can help people. And in doing that, I came up with a 4th book, which is completely separate from the fiction that I'm writing, which is how to take any negative situation and turn it into a funny situation. And I think we've been talking about it long enough in this podcast that it kind of makes sense that that's what I do with pretty much everything. So it's how to take a nihilist pessimist and make them into a humorous buffoon. And I just take things from my life and write, like, each day just a little bit in secret, just a little bit on the notepad on my phone, and I put the book together, and secretly I throw it on my Google Docs and I write it up, and I do a little bit of editing here and there, and it's just taking negative things that happen in my day and making them funny. And it helps me deal with my emotions throughout the day. It helps me just be a happier, better served person for dealing with people each and every day, because that's what I'm doing, is I have to deal with people each and every day. I have to deal with people who are very powerful each and every day. Can't exactly come in with a shitty attitude. So this is a great way of me working that shit out. And now I'm back to writing it all. So that book and the other 3, and now I've jumped back into the first book to being like, I need to change this and I need to change that. And it's more or less done. More or less. But it's just something that I took on as like, okay, I'm going to write this from my passion. And yes, I will publish. I will publish it myself, and I'm hopefully going to start my own publishing company. I have a couple of things that I'll do with it, and help English speaking writers in the Nordics have a place to publish their stuff and just get them out there, and hopefully have it as a place where people can fucking work out their mental health shit through writing, because it does help. I'm going to tell you, people, jot down your negative thoughts and then try this. Just try make it funny. Make that shit sound stupid. Guarantee you'll write it and have a smile on your face. Write it up in your laptop, write it in pen and paper, I don't care, write it on a bathroom mirror in lipstick if you have to. But it will be funny, I guarantee it, and it will make you kind of smile a little bit quicker than dwelling on that negative situation. That's what I've been doing. So the fiction that I've been writing, that's all dealing with some traumas that I had in life. And then the other book that I'm writing, which is, I guess, in a way, a biography, I guess. it's a bit ambitious as well to be writing a biography at so young, but like, it's a humorous one. It's just like how people deal with shit, and this is how I deal with my shit. And it may work for you, it may not, but at least if you can read this book and have a giggle, you can have a giggle. And I'm happy with that, because again, at least somebody's laughing at me than somebody else, and I don't mind being laughed at. Some people can't. Some people get angry. Some people get sad. Some people take their lives when they get laughed at.
Yeah.
I'm none of that. I won't. So people laugh at me and leave the other people alone. I'm happy with that. So that's why I've been writing. And yeah, sure, I'd love to make loads of money like J.K. Rowling. And she's a subpar writer in my eyes. I don't like her, sorry. She's not good at math. She's not good. I won't get into it. But it wouldn't be bad. But it's not my objective. My objective is just to put the books out there that people can connect with on an emotional level and just start to feel better about themselves. Because I was a big, massive nerd. And I was bullied for years. And now I'm not. Now I own every little thing that I do in life. My attitude is, fuck you and I will destroy you. Or, fuck you, laugh at me. It's one of the two. But like, you don't have to give up on life so quickly. You can laugh at yourself and you can get past these things, and the books help me do that, and hopefully they sell, and hopefully they get into the hands of some young people or even some old people who just need that little bit of a laugh, a little bit of reassurance from a person who hasn't put all the puzzle pieces together yet, and probably never will. I don't think anybody ever actually does, but at least I'm trying to, and I'm hoping these books will help people do that, hoping they'll start to get the puzzle box open again, put what they've done out in front of them, and then just start picking up the pieces and trying to put them in day by day, week by week, year by year, because it takes a long ass time. And it's exactly like training. You don't just have a 200 kilo deadlift. You gotta work at that shit. Maybe you gotta start at 20 kilos, just the bar. Maybe you get to add 5 kilos on. That's 2.5 either side. You work in the form, you take it slow. Over a certain period of time, you'll get to that 200 if you stick at it. And it's just about sticking at it. Keeping the eye on the prize and going where the puck is, to quote Gretzky. And I'm hoping they help a little bit, because it's helping me a lot. So yeah, that's kind of where it comes from. So I just moved over and went into a spiral, and then came out of the spiral. Managed to pull out of that tailspin. And the books focused it for me. Like, that's what's really helped me, is the books. So yeah. I think it carries over into my everyday life. I think the person that I am now in front of people is very much the person that they'll see in the books, and they'll probably see Bran, the main character, as that person as well. Someone who's been through some shit, has maybe dealt with it in some ways that were questionable, and then has somehow, fortunately, landed on his feet to meet the right people to point him in the right direction, so he can find his way out. And I think I'm starting to find my way out, and the books represent that. And that's it. That's the books as a whole. So I don't know when I will release the first. I'd like to have the second fully done, and have the third one halfway done before I release the first. So at least people can get their hands on the books pretty quickly, one after another. Because if there's one thing that I lack, is patience. And I fucking hate waiting for shit. Give it to me now.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So that's it. And then the other book is just, it's gonna be published just for people to laugh at. It's just a coffee table book when you want to read something fucking sad and stupid that is super hilarious. There you go. You get to read something that's stupid, and you can kind of have a giggle at someone's misfortune. Like, there's a story in it when I almost got hit by a car walking to work one morning. It was when it was snowing. And the car stopped, and I reacted in a violent way, and I got my backpack and slammed it on the car. And then I wrote the following part, which is when 2 big burly men get out and they proceed to lay lumps into me. And there's just a very Frank Miller-esque Sin City black pan out of me lying on the ground. Everything's black and white except a big red pool of blood that says, "I'm a fucking fool." And it's written in the sense of, why did I lose my cool? Like, there was no need to smack that person's car. It was really, like, it was snowing very heavily. He couldn't have seen me. The lights had just went green, and I had walked out. And I reacted in a poor way. But it wraps up in a funny way, because each one is a little snippet of this character doing something, and then seeing the actions follow out from that. and the character's me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it sounds really good. It actually sounds really good. I hope you actually get that done, because there's some things I could relate right now, and it sounded like, yeah, it's a good idea, and I don't even know what's that I could say about that, but I hope you actually do that thing.
I will.
And it seems like and it's actually like really cool in a way that because of course I think everyone at the workplace almost everyone there has heard about like JRE, and which is actually kind of like one of the motivations for me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you hear these stories of all types of people, cool people that have done cool stuff and everything. And while you were telling that, I thought about like, that is actually fucking cool. That is really fucking cool. And I have like thought about in some senses earlier that I wish I would know people like this, because I'm the type of person that also likes to get shit done. And the more you know people like this, the because you are, there's a saying, you are the people who you hang around with. They change you or they don't change you, they keep you the same or whatever. But it's really inspiring in a way, because I have been at some point thought about, because that's why I understand, like you said, it's really feels maybe stupid to think about like writing out of autobiography at this point of life. But I have thought about the same, like in a way, and maybe like using the, like when I'm at basic, well, it would have been like straight from my life, but things from my life, stories about my life, and then continuing it like with semi-fictional stories and fitting them kind of like in the same framework that I could see happening. Because there are some things in life that it seems like a fucking movie. It's like, is this shit really happening? And that is, I feel like that's the reason why people actually believe in movies, but when they watch them, they don't question it. They're like, life is fucking crazy. And some like weird and fucking, like you said, maybe even questionable things can happen. And yeah, but it doesn't take away, I feel like, you as a person, like who are you now? Because we all have our troubles, and we maybe do all sorts of fucked up things, but that doesn't determine you, who are you now or who you will become. And especially if you have some like really bad things happen to you, like you said about the death of your parents and stuff. How old were you, by the way, when that happened?
5 when my dad died. I had actually moved over to Finland when my mother was dying.
Okay, yeah.
I was 23 when she passed away.
Okay, yeah.
Was I? Fuck, no. I was 24 when she passed away.
Okay, but yeah, quite young when the dad and everything.
Yeah.
And especially... But yeah, it's a hard thing to lose your parents when you're young. I can't imagine, because that never has happened to me. But I have seen one friend of mine, well, he was he 14 at the time, but I could see how it changed him.
It changes you in a weird way.
And that's when you start to do like things, you start to maybe drink more and shit like that, and end up in these chaotic places and stuff.
Well, I definitely ended up in some, let's say, self-destructive situations.
Yeah.
But I think I held on to life that extra little bit and actually opened my mind up to listening to wise words from people. You've heard me quote my brothers and my father and my mother. They're wise words. Sometimes people who are higher authority than you, or maybe just an elder, they say things and you're like, fuck you. Sometimes listen. Because when you get to a stage when you can start to comprehend what they said, it actually does make sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. like, I wasn't always the person who wanted to be laughed at. But the older and stronger I got, the more confidence that I gained, the more in control of my life that I became, the more I realized is I can do this.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I would be able to survive in Finland, but I've proven myself wrong. Proven a lot of detractors wrong as well. You can do it. I didn't think that I'd be so lucky to have a good relationship, let's say. Maybe more of a selfish mindset that I have. But I can. And I work damn hard at ensuring that I'm a good partner, and it gets easier day by day to do so. And I don't have such self-destructive thoughts anymore. Like before this, I told you a story involving ketamine, and it's like, that's not who I am. It happened, and I recognized when it happened, and I knew that the situation was out of place for me. I stopped it. And I set it straight. And you have the power to do that if you listen to maybe some people and the wise words that they have. And yes, death changes you, but it doesn't necessarily change you for the worse. Maybe sometimes the question that it asks is, are you ready to stand on your own 2 feet? Can you do it this early? Some people can, some people can't. It's unfortunate some people can't. But I think if you give it a go, the majority of people can. And that's, I guess it ties into what we were saying, is just give it a fucking go. Do it. Try it. See if you can do it. 9 times out of 10, I bet you can. I would wager 10 times out of 10 you can. Just that 1/10 of the situation is extra difficult. But stick at it, and you'll get through it. And I'm hoping that the books can help people with loss of a parent, or dealing with cancer in a family, or dealing with self-destructive tendencies, or dangerous situations and stuff like this that happen in life, and having the wits about you to step out of that situation and not take that path. There's a brilliant poem. I guess we can kind of peter off with this and end it, but Robert Frost is one of my favorite poets, and he wrote a poem, The Road Less Traveled, and it starts with like, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I'm sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it stooped in the undergrowth. My God, my English teacher would be proud of that. But it's about taking a journey in life, and taking a path that's less travelled. Often the path less travelled is the harder path to take. The easier path is obviously the path of destruction. It's so easy to be self-destructive. Take the other path and don't be so self-destructive. There's going to be fucking hard challenges. And it might even be the fact that you're shit at fucking jiu-jitsu, like me. But at least you give it a go. At least you try.
I have to check one. I have some note written about almost like this, but you can keep going, like, if you have something to say more.
I always have something to say. I'm a talker. It just comes down to doing things and being humorous when you do it, and looking at things in never always the serious light. That's kind of a fallacy of speaking. Never always, but not always such a serious light. Just do things and try to do the best that you can. This is just like
I can see these are scattered thoughts, maybe under the influence a little bit when I wrote this, but just like the self-destructive part, or not, maybe not even self-destructive, but the part or the way where you don't bury any responsibility, basically. Like, everybody can just go home and jerk off. Like, that's really easy. That really requires zero talent on anything whatsoever. And these are the people who act they are so special, and this is how we change the world. By using everyone else's resource on lube and toilet paper. That is what real progressive looks like. Like, I'm real progressive. I'm being fucking changing the world by going hormone jerk.
Look, you don't know. Sometimes jacking off is really paid for a lot of people. Do you know surgeons sometimes jack off to bring down stress levels?
I haven't heard about that, but I know
Not technically true. I saw it in Scrubs, but I assume it's true because it's in Scrubs. But that's a fucking interesting little not limerick, poem, I guess, in a sense. Musing. Fuck me. Thanks, buddy. Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna be thinking of that for the rest of the day.
Yeah, but yeah, just a little to continue a little bit more. And those are the people who have the time to bitch about everything on the internet. They are like the changers of the world.
Yeah.
You should be cancelled. This one should be punched, and yada yada yada. And shame on you. And right after writing that comment on the internet, the dude goes to jerk off in his own pillow before he can goes to sleep. And
Fucking hell.
yeah.
That's a good sense of humor. I like it. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But no, this was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. It was really, really good.
What time did we get to? Did we beat?
No, we didn't beat the longest one, but it's 3 hours and soon 20 minutes. So it's pretty good. It's one of the longest ones.
I'll come back into a second one. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
Who got the longest one?
I think it's actually kind of like a Fight Companion one.
I'm taking you down, Fight Companion.
Yeah, because we were watching UFC and kind of like talking shit over it and analyzing the fights and stuff.
That's it. I'm gonna analyze some motherfucking books.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Ilka shut up, and I'm gonna speak for 4.5 hours straight
Yeah.
about books only.
Mm.
Awesome books.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank to you. It was really awesome, and thanks for coming, and thanks for everyone for listening, and we'll see you fuckers later.
Peace out, dipshits.
Peace out.